2.
The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's host, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Good Sunday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special Sunday sports edition of On the Spot with David Rodgers. Sponsored by the Start Call Street Merchants, including the Downtown Grill, featuring great food, live music, and all the sports when they reopen next week. Don't forget, we usually come to you on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. But today is a special all sports edition as we delve into restarting sports as part of reopening up America. Now, here is your on-the-spot team putting it all together on this special sports show. First, putting it all together behind the scene on any given Sunday, filling in as our executive producer, Dave, the Natural Holland Jr.
Woo-hoo!
Say hello, Dave.
What's up, fellas?
And keeping the flow to the show is our director, Michael Chariots of Fire here.
I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you, Byron.
You're welcome.
Rounding out the team is Austin Raging Bull Stevens and John He Got Game Pros. And our great media partners, Eagle Country 106.3 FM and Bradford County Telegraph. And now, the Gridiron Gang. To my right, your left, with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, North Dallas 40 Gunter. Say hello, Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And to my left, you're right, he is our historian and governmental whiz, Byron, everybody's All-American Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels and sports fans.
Along with special co-host, our own Sheriff Gordon Any Given Sunday Smith, which is not here right now, but he'll be joining us very shortly. And I'm your host, David, all the right moves, Rodgers, and the Show Pony Express. Welcome to the show. We are coming to you live from the On the Spot studios, right here in beautiful downtown Star, Florida. Only 1,250 miles from Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the winners of Super Bowl I in 1967. Some of you wasn't even born. Good grief.
So let's everything?
Well, that's true. So let's get started, as we always do, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic wisdom from freedom fighter himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get rolling. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us bring you and everybody this show today here on this Sunday, dear Lord. What a great day to be an American. We live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America, and you keep blessing us with our rights and our freedoms, and keep blessing our military as they go out, dear Lord, the greatest fighting force in the world, as they're helping to keep our rights and our freedoms here in this wonderful country. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Keep a hedge of protection over us, dear Lord, as we go out the rest of this weekend and the rest of the week. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, you touch each and every one of them as you see fit, dear Lord, because you know their needs, their wants, and what needs to have and be overcome. Thank you again for you and your son, the greatest human being to ever walk this earth, Jesus Christ. And our congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. All right, let us stand for the pledge. I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater to lead us today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Bagwell, what do you have for us as far as a quote of the week? Or a quote for today? Yeah.
If you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Not exactly a founding father.
No, but I like
One
it.
of our greatest presidents ever.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Know who that was?
I do know who that
That
is.
would be Mr. Ronald Reagan.
Reagan. You got that right.
Ronaldus Magnus.
Yes. Before we delve into the show, we want to recognize our great sponsors who have been working hard with limited staff and changing hours. This is our sponsor spotlight. Southern Gym Photo Booth, Photography Business. Call for an appointment at 904-263-6079 and let Megan not only bring fun to your event, she can make it picture perfect.
Miracle Automotive and Recovery out of Stark and McClenny. When you have an automotive crisis, don't pray for a miracle, call Miracle.
Hey, how about this one?
Suster and Saban Law Firm in Jacksonville. Visit them online at www.pitlaw.com.
Mike, before we go any further, have you boys been drinking today, this afternoon, going over the sports? Good grief.
It is the weekend.
It is the weekend. Dependable waste services in Stark, from land clearing to waste management to commercial accounts. Jamie Clemens can make your land the place to be. Call 904-966-0255.
Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $8 haircut. Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338. And it's going to reopen very soon. And I will most certainly be glad of that because I've got to get one.
Me too.
Me too. Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair. Don't risk going out in public. Let Chuck Strawberry come to you at 904-703-5136.
And Williams Jewelry on Call Street by appointment only, but plans are underway to reopen very soon. The building has been deep cleaned and sanitized and are ready for customers. Call them out on Facebook or call Vicki and her great team at 904-964-7064.
Speaking of drinking.
Yes, sir. And finally, last but not least, not last anymore.
You have been drinking.
Yeah, I have been.
All right.
On the spot lawn maintenance, let the red, white, and blue take care of your green at 904-966-1633. And that would be Mr. David Rodgers.
Thank you.
Miss Clean Housekeeping Services. Call Karen for a free estimate at 352-575-5835.
And now, here's your quick and dirty for your Sunday afternoon. Happening right now, Bradford County firefighters and the Florida Forest Service are working a woods fire in the Pleasant Grove community off now Northwest 177th Street, west of Stark. No homes are threatened, and there are no injuries.
Good.
Stark Police, along with Bradford County deputies, arrested a man overnight who forced his way into a home in Stark. Neither the home residents nor officers were injured. One man is in custody after multiple shots were fired earlier today along Southeast 21st Avenue off State Road 100. Multiple casings were recovered, but no injuries were reported. Thank goodness, no injuries so far. A reminder that a second city-wide power outage is scheduled for this Tuesday morning, May 5th, from 12:05 a.m. to 2 a.m. The first one was the first of 3 planned outages to replace old and degraded equipment. This outage will be the second step to ensure storms, swirls, and other outage causes are minimized. The city strongly recommends all unnecessary items, including computers, electronics, and anything else likely to be unplugged before going to sleep. Again, this is the coming. Oh, no, it isn't. Now, here's your weather update with Mr. Michael Heaton. We may have all been drinking today.
Not I.
All right, says the blind man.
Yes. Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. And actually, that's coming up this Tuesday, May the 5th, from midnight until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we got some warm and humid conditions expected across the south for the next several days. High temperatures in the lower 90s could threaten some daily records, and afternoon readings could exceed 100 degrees on the western areas of Texas as we go through the week. Locally, there's a high-pressure ridge sliding over the state, so the winds have shifted. Yesterday, of course, it was kind of cool and comfortable. Winds out of the north, but those winds have now shifted out of the southeast, and that's bumping the temperatures up to the 90-degree mark as we go through the afternoon. Now, Monday will be another warm day on tap, with highs climbing into about 90 under mostly sunny skies. Tuesday, which is Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday.
Hey!
Celebration.
Open, right, Mike?
And that's the plan. They should be open. We'll see even warmer temperatures. Lows will be topping out in the lower 90s. Our next chance of rain for scattered showers will be moving in on Wednesday. This weather report is brought to you by Austin's Weather Service at Keystone Heights and Bradford County Emergency Management. BCEM reminds everyone that Hurricane Preparedness Week in Bradford County kicks off tomorrow morning with safety tips and information posted on the website all week long. The Atlantic hurricane season does start June the 1st, and Sheriff Smith, Emergency Management Director Ray Shuford, Deputy Director Wendy Russell, and the entire EM team want to keep you informed, not alarmed. Follow BCM on Facebook. Dave, back to you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Great report there. So, again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers and our crew today. Slim crew today, but, hey, last night we had a great show. We talked about, doing a sports thing today because we didn't get a chance to get sports last night. We did put out a lot of great information. If you did not see that, you need to go back and watch last night's show. You can catch it on Facebook Live. Should be downloaded on YouTube already as well. And go back and catch all the information that you missed. We had Sheriff Gordon Smith right along with us. Had a lot of great information, didn't he, Byron? And Mitchell.
Great information.
Yeah, great information, as well as Mitchell Gunner and Byron Bagwell in their segments, too. I want to introduce the team one quick time again. We got Mr. Michael Heater directing the show. Dave Holland Jr. filling in for Dave Holland Sr. Dave, thank you for the past 3 shows. You did an outstanding job working the controls back there, so we really appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Yep, I've got Mr. Byron Bagwell over here to my left, and then Mr. Mitchell Gunner to my right. And here we are. We are the freedom fighters. We are the new Sons of Liberty. We are the defenders of the Republic. And tell them what else we are, Byron. The new high priest of the church
Of the
painful truth. That's exactly
And
right.
also, your 3 Dallas Cowboy football fans.
Where'd you get 3 at?
Right here.
Oh, 3. Oh, okay.
Be myself and I.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does that include me, myself, and I?
Okay, 2.
All right, 2.5. I did like some Dallas Cowboy players. We'll go over that, though, as we get into your segment. Anyway, we're going to sit here and we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk all kinds of sports here, mainly the NFL draft, some things that are coming back to play as far as sports reopening. You heard Mitchell Gunner last night say that NASCAR is getting ready to kick the door open. Well, actually, the NHRA and NASCAR is getting ready to kick their seasons off. Mitch, we got a couple of little things on that.
Well, NASCAR, they will start, I believe, on May the 17th, but they will not have any fans in the stands.
That is correct.
So, but, they got a lot of drivers and crews that are ready to go. They've been sitting back for over 2 months now.
Right.
They're ready to get down to business.
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you.
And speaking of which, what this COVID-19 did do was help Ryan Newman because he will be stepping back in the car. He has been cleared by NASCAR.
Good. All right. Also, I got some bit of great news, too. Major League Baseball has made an announcement that they're fixing to start the season up here. I don't know about in May, but definitely in June. They may play it without fans as well, but you will see live baseball games. Nothing on the college front right now as far as anything starting up. If you talk to some presidents of universities, guys, they're saying, hey, we want to open up on time. I did not realize this. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know this? When they shut a school down, shut all the power down, everything down in a school, do you know it takes 2 to 3 days to do that?
Yes. Oh, yes.
It takes 2 to 3 days to shut down a power grid, shut everything down, make sure everything is, secure. Do you know how long it takes to bring it up? This is going to...
Twice as long.
It takes almost a month. It takes a month and a half to get everything up and running like it was.
They have to make sure everything is not broken.
Correct.
Something happened
Right.
while it was shut down.
Can you imagine all the computers, everything that's in your computer science classes, everything, biology labs? They got to make sure all that is working. So it takes a little while. That's why presidents of universities are saying, hey, unless something is told by us, by president and his staff, and or some of their experts that they've got working on it, They plan on opening up for the fall semester.
Good.
So, hey, I'm okay with that. So, anyway, nothing new there. Hopefully everything starts off on time. We do have nothing for the spring sports for start for Bradford. That's our local team here, the Bradford Tornadoes. They are looking like they are going to continue with graduation of some sort. Mitchell, have you heard anything more on that or any kind of a date or anything going on with that?
I have not.
Okay. Also, the grad prom, they're trying to still do that at some point. Don't know if it gets later on in the summer, if they're going to be able to do that, because now those seniors are going to be preparing to go to school. So that's maybe a little tough. Hopefully it doesn't go too long. And as things start opening up for us next week here in the state of Florida, hopefully they'll be able to make a plan up. And maybe we can get Miss Stacy Creighton on to tell us exactly what's going on.
And I tell you, our superintendent, she has not given up on the fact of having the graduation, the senior awards, and the prom.
Yeah.
It's still a go for her. She's looking forward to it. And hopefully these seniors will at least be able to enjoy a little bit of something since their school year kind of got ruined.
I talked to a couple of guys through the FHSA, just trying to feel them out. They're wanting to go with high school football season too. So not only college football season, pro football season, which has been extended to 17 games. I'll let y'all talk about that here in a minute. But they're talking about kicking off the high school football. And I just want to go real quick over the Tornadoes football schedule this year. I have it. So preseason, Friday night, 7:30, we're going to travel to Newberry and play Newberry in the Kickoff Classic. If you gentlemen remember, y'all was up in the booth with me. You remember that little melee that happened here on our brand new football field to indoctrinate our football field? That was a lot of bogus mess. I will say this, guys. Y'all seen the same things I did. That wasn't a lot of our players and a lot of our people.
That was the officials.
That was the
game.
official losing control. Byron, you agree with that?
They were all from the People's Republic.
There you go. All right. Friday starts the regular season on August the 21st, Byron.
Yes, sir.
We're going to travel. I need you guys. We got to travel to Baker. 7:30 game over at Baker County. They're looking to get a little revenge on that little win that we got on them last year, right here in our new football field.
The last time I was in that stadium, it was not a good time.
No. It usually isn't. So that's a big-time rivalry. Renee, if you're on, that's like the rivalry between Pascagoula and Moss Point. Same thing, just a little bit uglier maybe.
Because normally brawls don't break out in between the crowd. That's what happened the last time I was there.
Then we'll continue on August the 28th. Baldwin will travel here to play us. 7:30 game on August the 28th. On September the 4th, Keystone Heights Indians will be visiting us. Keystone Heights plays on the other side of that 4A. They're in 4A2, Region 2. We're in Region 1. They will travel to Bradford. Gentlemen, if you remember, last year, this is the game that got canceled. They didn't want to play it because of the storm. Remember, it's supposedly storm? Okay, moving on. September the 11th. Now, I won't answer that. We're going to take a trip to University Christian up there in Jacksonville, Florida, the home of Leonard Skinner. We're going to play the University Christian Christians. Guess what time that game is? Mitchell, 7:30. We're going to go over to their field. Remember the year before? That's when we started our little win streak was over there.
Right.
We pounded him. Eric Smith had like 200-something yards. Jeremiah Vaughn, remember the bug? Jeremiah Vaughn had a bunch of yards. And we had a couple of long touchdowns. Defense played great. They come over and beat us last year here. Should have lost that game 8-7. Remember? That was when they went for that 2-point play right there in the last few seconds of the game. Should have lost that game. University Christian there. All right. On September the 18th, how about a team y'all are well familiar with? Live Oak Swanee. Going over to Live Oak to play the Swanee Bulldogs. Y'all used to play them back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah.
They used to be a pretty nice rivalry too, didn't it? Y'all play them in quite a bit of stuff. I know Mitchell's over there going, yeah, boy, I remember some. They call that the dog pound, don't they?
Up there in trees walking out of the woods out of that.
Yeah. They call it the dog pound, don't they, guys? If I remember
I
correctly.
believe so.
Call it the dog pound.
We got it right, too.
So we're going to Live Oak Swanee. Then we get to come back on September the 25th at 7:30. We'll play Cardinal Gibbons. Cardinal Gibbons, ladies and gentlemen, went 10-3 last year in that Southern Division. They lost to the eventual state champions, Booker T. Washington, 31-21 in the regional final. They get to come and visit Bradford. They were a young team last year. Bradford will have a tough time with these guys. These guys are no joke. This school is located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Y'all already know about the southern schools down there. They got speed, they got quickness, they got size, and they stay
ranked constantly.
And they keep seeming to resupply, just refurbish. I don't want to say a rebuild, a reload of players. So Cardinal Gibbons will be a good test for the Bradford Tornadoes.
But I tell you what, if we beat them, that might give us a lot of recognition.
Yes, it will.
On being nationally ranked.
Guys, I was sitting here thinking before we came to the show, and I was talking about this. I would love to have last year's defense this year. Teams like this would catch heck. I'm telling you right now. So then we have an off week, and then on October 9th, the only 7 o'clock game we got, Byron's favorite team, PK Young Blue Wave, over there at the POR, the People's Republic. So we'll get to play at that field. I hate that field. You know why? There's no press box. We can't get in the press box. We have to do the game from either the stands or somewhere out there on the field. Gets real tricky. But you haven't seen our new headphones yet. I'm going to have to show y'all our new little setup that we got.
Cool. Yeah, a little fancy, huh?
Yes, sir. We get just like the big boys. And I'm going to tell you something. We tried it. You can hardly hear any noise. So, Miss Cindy Futch is out there hollering, "Go Tornadoes!"
Yeah.
I won't be able to hear that, or Chuck won't be able to hear that. Yeah. That's a good thing. But we wanted to hear it. We wanted to cheer
We
Go
want the
Tornadoes.
fans to hear it.
Yeah. Then we've got homecoming on October 16th, Friday, 7:30. That's against the Palatka Panthers. They'll be coming in here. If you remember correctly, one over there put a pretty good whooping up on those boys. Let them come and score a few touchdowns, but they were young. They'll bring a good football team in here.
What?
Then the team I really want to beat here on October 23rd, same date as last year, Friday. That's South Sumter. The Raiders get to come up in here. I'm going to tell you right now, I want to beat this team. We lost to them 28-26. If Pedro Carter doesn't throw that interception, throws it the other side of the field, we're coming back with a win right there. So South Sumter, good football team. They were in the playoffs. They made it to, I think, a regional semifinal. So they got a good football team. Let's see if the Tornadoes can take care of business.
But if you want to become good, you
got to play teams.
You got to play good teams.
Yeah.
You got to play good teams to beat them.
That's it. And then the last game of the season, which actually ends for us in October. Isn't that crazy? Usually it extends into November.
Right.
But for us, it ends in October this year. And that's on October 30th, senior night. And that'll be against the Fort White Indians. We've been traveling over there the last 2 or 3 years. They get to come over and play us on our new football field. They're going to have a great quarterback guy you're going to hear. He's one of the coach's sons over there. This kid's got an arm. He's talented. Like you were saying, big. Got great size. So let's see what Fort White brings. So that is the Tornado football schedule. You can catch that on the what do you call it there? FHSAA, or you can go to the website at the school. You can catch the schedule, or you can call Chuck Kramer, and he'll have it as well. We go over the schedule a couple of times a week. All right, want to delve in, ladies and gentlemen, to some sports. Mainly pro sports, because that's what's been happening the last couple of weeks. Sure. Y'all all guys know that for the last two months while this COVID-19 situation been going on, a lot of mock drafts, right, Byron? A lot of mock drafts been going on. Players that from your favorite college football teams. Some players you do know, some players you don't. And from colleges, and we're going to get into some of those players. And we did have the draft a couple of weeks ago, and now, hey, it's time to get into it and see what some of these teams has got. Last night I told you that we wanted to talk about several local area teams besides the teams that you like. Byron Bagwell has got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Michael Heater has got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mitchell Gunner has got the Dallas Cowboys. You say, why Dallas? That's his favorite team, and Byron likes them too. So we want to see what the Cowboys have done. And I've got the Miami Dolphins, the other Florida team here, as they had a good draft as well. So, before we get into that, I want to get into some second round.
Yeah, let's do the second round.
Yeah, I want to get into the second round here real quick. Now, I'll give you some grades that I think y'all are going to find very good. Ladies and gentlemen, before we do that, I do want to recognize everybody that's on. Thank you for joining us. Marie, thank you for joining us. Caleb, thank you for joining us. Ty Jordan, thank you. Yes, hello there. Melissa Manning is watching. Hello, go Tornadoes, absolutely. David, why are you wearing that ugly shirt? I won't answer that, Archie. Ellen Disher Williams, howdy. Now, there is the Byron that I know, she says, with the hat, I guess. Yep, Bart Norton's watching. Roger Cruz. Dave Holland Jr. is watching. I imagine that. Archie Waters, there you go. Go Noles, go Jags, and the HC Lions. You know what he's talking about there? Hope Christian Academy Lions. That's exactly right, Will Smith. Marie, thank you. Lorenzo Jones, thank you. Hello, Lorenzo. Hope everything went for you this weekend. Jimmy Langley says, go Dogs. What do you think about that, Mitchell? It's about time to fire back at him.
They're dogs.
Yeah. Will Smith said, boo on them dogs.
Yeah, I don't think
Kenny
so.
Testone. Ready, gentlemen? Hello, Albie.
Albie.
How you doing, Albie? Thank you for tuning in. This is the sports edition that we're doing today. So, hello, Albie. Glad that you can tune in. Oh, my God. Barbie Crawford's waving and saying hello.
Barbie.
Ellen and Boo. I wonder who her team is. So, there's the Gators?
Probably so.
Probably so. Did those legs lots of, I think you knew. Well, yeah. I guess the only guy wearing shorts, right, Marie? Yeah, well, we had two of us wearing shorts, so I don't know which legs that you see. Boy, do I learn how to text my words. Yeah, sometimes all of us do. Austin is not with us today, but he is on watching. Damn, Byron, get some sun on those legs. Any comment to that, Byron?
Oh, Lord.
Good grief. Kelsey Michael, hello, how you doing? Hey, guys, can't wait to see y'all soon. Absolutely, we can't wait to see you as well. Yolanda Jones is watching. Hey, Noah Gibson says, hi, Tornado fans. We're all Tornado fans here for sure. We want our local team to do really good each and every year. I really want to see some real NASCAR and some good NHDR racing. Noah Gibson. Yep, well, he's already told you we probably will. Marie, go Dallas. Really?
All right.
Oh, my gosh. There is three of you then. How about that? Buccaneers, he says, hey, they can't wait for your report on that.
You got it.
Who picked up the quarterback from Georgia? I'm going to tell you that, Anthony Black.
Yep.
He's talking about Fromm, and we got the report on that, so just stay tuned for that. Black says, go Noles and go Jags. Other players got recruited from Georgia. I think there were 7 or 8 of them that got recruited out of Georgia, so they had a good draft. And Noah Gibson says, go Dogs again. All right, without further ado, let's get into round 2 of the draft. We went over round 1. If you want to, Byron, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Why don't you go over round, if I can find it here, why don't you go over round 1 and just read off the players real quick on the teams there? Just real quick, and we won't get into it. Just real quick. That's front and back, sir.
With the first pick of the NFL draft, the Bengals selected Joe Burrows, quarterback, LSU. With the second pick of the draft, the Redskins chose edge Chase Young out of Ohio State. With the third pick of the draft, the Lions selected cornerback Jeff Okudah, Ohio State. The fourth pick of the draft, the Giants selected offensive tackle Andrew Thomas, Georgia. With the fifth pick of the draft, the Miami Dolphins picked up Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, Alabama. The Chargers, with the sixth pick of the draft, selected Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon. With the seventh pick of the draft, the Panthers picked up defensive tackle Derek Brown from Auburn. With the eighth pick of the draft, the Cardinals picked up linebacker Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. With the ninth pick of the draft, the Jaguars picked up cornerback from Florida, C.J. Henderson. With the 10th pick of the draft, the Browns picked up offensive tackle Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. With the 11th pick of the draft, the Jets picked up Mika Becton out of Louisville. With the 12th pick of the draft, the Raiders picked up wide receiver Henry Ruggs III out of Alabama. With the 13th pick of the draft, the Buccaneers picked up offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. With the 14th pick of the draft, the 49ers picked up defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. With the 15th pick of the draft, the Broncos picked up wide receiver Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama. The 16th pick of the draft, the Falcons picked up cornerback A.J. Terrell from Clemson. The 17th pick of the draft, the Cowboys, in one of the steals of the draft, picked up wide receiver from Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. With the 18th pick of the draft, the Dolphins picked up offensive tackle Austin Jackson from the USC. With the 19th pick of the draft, the Raiders picked up cornerback Damon Arnett out of Ohio State. With the 20th pick of the draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars picked up edge rusher Clavion Chason from LSU. With the 21st pick of the draft, the Eagles picked up wide receiver Jalen Reagor out of TCU. With the 22nd pick of the draft, the Vikings picked up wide receiver Justin Jefferson out of LSU. With the 23rd pick of the draft, the Chargers picked up linebacker Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. With the 24th pick of the draft, the Saints picked up center Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. With the 25th pick of the draft, the 49ers picked up wide receiver Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State. With the 26th pick of the draft, the Packers picked up quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah State. The 27th pick of the draft went to the Seahawks, and they picked up linebacker Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. The 28th pick of the draft went to the Ravens, and they picked up linebacker Patrick Queen out of LSU. The 29th pick of the draft, the Titans belonged to the Titans, and they picked up offensive tackle Isaiah Wilson from Georgia. With the 30th pick of the draft, the Dolphins picked up Noah. I'm going to mess this guy's last name up. Igabini. Exactly. Out of Auburn. With the 31st pick of the draft, the Vikings picked up cornerback Jeff Gladney, out of TCU. And the 32nd pick of the draft belonged to the Chiefs, and they picked up running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU.
That was your first 32 picks, first round right there. Gentlemen, y'all all know, ladies and gentlemen, y'all all know that if you get picked up in that round right there, that you're going to get some big dollars. That's each right. Step it is worth millions and millions and millions. So you can do the math here. Now, second round players right here, I'm going to go over them real quick. For the 33rd pick, the Bengals took wide receiver T. Higgins. Higgins is a good rebounder in this class. Separation good enough. Deceptive after the catch. Gigantic radius. He's got like an 81-inch wingspan. And he would be a perfect guy to go right along with A.J. Green. So, kudos to T. Higgins. Colts took wide receiver Michael Pittman out of USC. Lions took running back DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. The Giants, with the 36th pick, took safety Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. Grade A player right there. T. Higgins, by the way, was an A-plus player.
I was about to say, T. Higgins. That's a great pick.
Panthers took edge rusher Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State. That's a grade A player as well. The Dolphins took offensive lineman Robert Hunt out of Louisiana Lafayette. The Texans took defensive tackle Ross Blaylock out of TCU. 41st pick, Colts took running back Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin. I do not know, gentlemen, how this guy dropped into the second round. I really don't. He set all kinds of Big Ten records. He set all kinds of single-season rushing records. So the only thing...
natural ability, David. Just pure natural ability.
According to what I've seen and everything, he's got a grade A-, best running back in the class. According to ESPN and CBS Sports. So
I sure would have taken him far, but way above Helaire.
Me and Byron agree with this, gentlemen. The Jaguars got the 42nd pick, and they took wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. If you don't know anything about this kid, ridiculous.
Okay.
Yards after the catch. Hey, let me just give a few. Horse in the open field. Explosive. He doesn't run great routes. However, when you're going straight down the field and you can just leap over somebody and make a catch, that right there is awesome enough. He goes, like I said, he goes deep really well. The only thing with him, as Byron has said, is injury prone.
He's injury prone, and I'm going to be honest with you. If he hadn't been injured last year at the end of the year,
He would have been a first rounder.
he would not only would he have been a first rounder, I believe that he probably would have been the first wide receiver taken.
I think so.
And it's because not only is he a wide receiver, but he returns punts, he returns kicks. He's an all around athlete. They line him up at running back. I mean,
Yeah.
the kid's he's just an all around athlete. He's a great player. And the reason you've never heard of him is because he played
At Colorado.
at Colorado.
Yep.
If you're a football fan and you want to see some really good footage of a player that can really play, YouTube this guy. He's just amazing.
I want to back up something that Byron said right here. Plays at Colorado. Remember, they're in the Pac-12. Those games usually come on at 10:30 at night. And that's why if you don't want to stay up, especially after you've seen a great Southeastern Conference game, great SEC, ACC game, whatever it may be. Now, you got to remember the West Coast is starting their night games right about that time as well. So you're not going to probably stay up till 10:30 to 1 o'clock to watch a football game. But there is some great football players that play in the Pac-12. And this kid right here, if you hadn't seen, that's where I seen him at.
I remember watching the game last year. It was about 12:30 at night, and I went, "Oh my God, the kid is going to win this game by
himself." Well, they played USC, wasn't they?
I don't remember who they were playing, but nobody could cover him. Nobody could catch him. He was making spectacular catches.
He was the best player on the field by far.
By far.
Yeah. Bears took tight end Cole Kmet. I don't know why. Did y'all hear about the Bears, Michael?
No.
10 tight ends on the roster. Why are you going to take an 11?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But anyway, they took him. Great pickup for them, I guess. Should probably be with somebody else.
Well, they're probably going to convert about half of them to wide receivers.
Probably.
That or looking at trying to pad their numbers so they can make some trades.
That's true. That's always a possibility. Somebody's always looking for a tight end. Tight ends are susceptible to getting hurt, so yeah, you're right. Browns took safety Grant Delpit from LSU. Great pick. The Buccaneers, and Michael Heater's going to get into this, they took safety Antonio Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota. The Broncos took wide receiver K.J. Hamler out of Penn State. And let's see here. Here we go right here. The Falcons at the 47th pick took defensive tackle Marlon Davidson out of Auburn. The 48th pick, Seahawks took edge rusher Darrell Taylor out of Tennessee. The Steelers at the 49th pick took wide receiver Chase Claypool out of Notre Dame. The 50th pick, the Bears took. They had another pick, cornerback Jalen Johnson out of Utah. Grade A player. They'll have a great corner there. The Cowboys with the 51st pick took cornerback Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama.
Good pickup.
That's a great pick. He gets a B plus, but I really give him an A. I've seen this kid. He's got size. He's got just a physical deal about him, and he's going to be suffocating at the line. And what you were just saying to me earlier, Mitchell, he's going to press man right here. Yeah. Oh boy. The Rams at the 52nd spot took running back Cam Akers out of Florida State. That's a great pickup for them. He only got a grade B, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to be a grade A football player in the National Football League.
He was Florida State's offense shield last year.
Yes, he was. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You know, back-to-back years, or not back-to-back years, but Florida State's had two really good running backs going to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I look for him to do things similar to what our boy has done with
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook and Vikings. Yeah.
Let me give you something, what you just said right there, Byron. Akers is the most natural, elusive running back in this class. Now, you heard that. Naturally elusive. Plus, he's got power. He'll run over you, too. Home run hitting speed. Hey, he gets outside, you see him. When he's gone. You're not going to catch him. He's got a low center of gravity, great contact balance. What the Rams are afraid of, they like for him to be a little bigger, to see if he can take that pounding in the pros.
They'll put some weight on.
And I think he'll be in the weight room.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you won't have to worry about Cam Akers. No.
He'll get a good another close to 30 pounds on him.
Yeah, I was surprised at this pick. Me and Byron was talking about it. At 53rd pick, Eagles took quarterback Jalen Hurts. They call him out of Alabama. He's really from Oklahoma. He quarterback Oklahoma. I was surprised about that pick. But, hey, if you're looking for a quarterback, he's got the numbers and he's a winner. Hey, he won a couple of national titles at Alabama with that team and was in the Final Four last year of the college football playoffs. So 54, Bills took edge rusher A.J. Impaniza, out of Iowa. That's easy enough to say. He gets a grade A. Yeah, excuse me. Ravens at the 55th pick took running back J.K. Dobbins, Ohio State. The Dolphins at 56th spot took Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle out of Alabama. Now, Byron, they gave him a D+. Now, listen to this. Davis is a scary big and long on the defensive line and is a stellar run stopper, but has very minimal pass rushing powers. Every time I seen him, he was in the backfield, but okay. No legit burst. They say he really can't burst off the line and doesn't play with pass rush plans. They thought it was a strange pick right there for the Dolphins. I don't know, man. Every time I watched the kid, he was always being called for something, so I don't know.
How suspect some of that stuff is.
Yeah, it is. But a grade D+, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, 57th pick, Rams took wide receiver Van Jefferson of Florida. That's a great pick. He gets a B-. He's a good route runner. Not the biggest size in the world, but can get open. He can definitely yards after the catch. He can definitely do it there. So, yank him up. Florida wide receiver. This is who I wanted at the 58th pick. The Vikings took offensive tackle Ezra Cleveland from Boise State. A great pass blocking scheme, great run blocking. The problem is he's not huge per se. He's getting a little stronger. He gets pushed back a little bit, but he's definitely a great pick up there. And of course, the Vikings needed some help there. All right. And that's it. Do I go? Well, no, there we go. Jets, 59th pick, wide receiver, Denzel Mims, out of Baylor, grade A. Hey, the Jets get their wide receiver in the first round, or offensive tackle in the first round. Mims has got great speed, good yards after the catch. He's a physical blocker, and he can line up in the slot, as you're saying, or to the outside, and can give some pass blocking skills.
David and I were actually watching this. We were talking on the phone while all this was going on the first night. We kept on asking each other, why is Mims falling down so low? The kid is really good.
Yeah, he is.
He really
we didn't know, and there's nothing here to indicate. The only thing that we could indicate is something that we didn't know about under hidden or injury,
social problems.
Or something.
I mean, they look at all that kind of stuff from injuries, from the way they treat people, problems that they had at the universities with other players. They take all that in because they don't want someone to come into their team and disrupt their locker room and make things worse. That's right. You don't want a cancer in the locker room, correct?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
You have to look at those types of things. And, no one wants a player that's about me.
Right.
They want a player who wants to be about the team. And I tell you, that comes in a big time effect when you start getting into the draft because these scouters, they look at all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Not just your play on the field.
You're exactly right.
Jacksonville will not do that again.
Yeah, no, they won't.
What happened with two of the players that left last year.
And I'm sure you're going to get into that.
That left last year, and the other one wants to leave.
The Patriots at the 60th pick took linebacker Josh Uche out of Michigan. Great pick up there for them. 61st pick, the Titans took Christian Fulton, the cornerback out of LSU. And with the 62nd pick, the Packers took running back A.J. Dillon out of Boston College. 63rd pick, the Chiefs took Willie Gay, linebacker out of Mississippi State. Excuse me. And the 64th pick, the Panthers took Jeremy Chin from Southern Illinois.
You all right, brother? Okay.
He gets choked up over football.
Yeah, he does. I have a question for you guys. I don't remember. I remember.
Maybe the COVID.
The COVID's got a hold of him. I think it's. Never mind. I'll stop. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
We had an actual viewer ask this question. And where did the quarterback from Georgia go?
Jake Fromm.
Dave Fromm. Yep.
Yes. He actually went to
Yes. He actually went to Georgia.
Georgia. He went to 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 Georgia. He went to
Yes, Buffalo, right?
The Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Yes. So there you go. That's what I thought I was going to say. But was that in the 6th round or the 7th round?
6th round. He was number 168, I believe.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's where Fromm went. All right, we're going to continue on again. Welcome in on the spot, the special sports edition. My name is David Rodgers, right along Byron Bagwell, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Dave Holland Jr. running the controls in the back, and Michael Heater over there directing the show. All right, we're going to break down a few teams here. Byron, I'm going to start off with you. I'm going to let you take the Jacksonville Jaguars here. That's one of Byron's favorite teams besides the Florida State Seminoles. He does like the Dallas Cowboys as well. So we picked teams last night. You got drafted with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tell us what's going on there and what you see coming in.
Jacksonville had all sort of issues this last year with players and their ability that we were just talking about to be more about team than about I.
Right.
We got rid of a cornerback. Some people said that was the greatest cornerback in the NFL. And he was a cancer in the locker room, and they shipped him off to guess where?
Yeah, L.A. Rams.
The L.A. Rams, and nobody's heard a word from him since because he hasn't been very good. But that's, they scheduled their draft to help fix a few offensive problems that they have, and the defense, cornerbacks, rush ends, linemen. They actually picked up an offensive lineman too, I believe.
Yeah, they did.
So the first pick of the draft that they actually got was C.J. Henderson. And like I said, I was talking to Dave when all of this was going on, and I sort of went, really? Really? Okay. It's not that Henderson's a bad player. Henderson's actually a really good player. But the problem became if you waited to pick him in this draft where I thought and probably David too, I'm not going to speak for him on this, felt that he should go in the draft, he wouldn't have been there, and Jacksonville needed to fill the slot that they lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
To Jalen Ramsey. And Henderson's a quick player. He really cuts routes very well. He's good on the line. He lacks some of his tackling skills are a little bit lacking, but the NFL coaches will solve that problem.
Yes, they will.
So the more I look at the pick, it's a good pick.
Right.
It's just not where I would have picked him up at.
Right.
So it really is a good pick, and I'm not saying that because he's a Gator. He's a Gator, as you can see from the shirt. If you've known about Jacksonville, the gentleman that I have on the back of this shirt, I supported the whole entire time. And when they drafted Taylor out of Gainesville, I was extremely happy because I thought he was going to have a good NFL career, and he did. Actually, he had a great NFL career. The second pick in the first round Jacksonville had two first-round picks. At number 20, they picked up an edge rusher by the name of Clavon Chason.
Yeah.
And it was at this point that I was a little bit disgusted about the ninth pick that I wasn't thinking very clearly, because this pick actually is a great pick. This kid really can play. He's really got a motor. He is just great, a great player. The actual next pick that they had was in round 2, and it was the 10th pick in round 2 or the 42nd pick, and they picked up, to me, if he can stay healthy, what is going to be the steal pick of this draft, and that is Laviska. Why can't I pronounce people's names today? Laviska Shenault.
Yeah.
Guys, I had a lot of people going, who in the world is that? That are some of my friends, the Jaguars. Who in the world is that? My comment to them was, all you need to know about him is to go on YouTube and just look at his highlights. The kid is spectacular. He's fast. He's big. He plays multiple positions. He's a great, great player. The only reason that he dropped this low in the draft was because he was injured at the end of last year. and they started looking at him like he's got a problem with injury. We'll see what happens with that in the NFL, but I don't think Jacksonville is going to use him right off the bat like Colorado did.
Right, I don't either.
He was everything to them. I was telling Dave just a little bit earlier. I turned and was watching the game, and I was sitting there going, "This kid by himself is beating his whole entire team."
Yeah,
literally.
Literally.
And it was USC. I think you're right. It was
USC.
USC. We're not talking about the worst football team in the world coming out of USC. As
a matter of fact, they turned their season around and had a pretty decent. Where they go, like 9-3 or 8-4,
something.
after going 0-3, 0-4 to start the season, and they turned it around. So this is not just your slack USC team.
Wow, kid is just spectacular. Here you go. Let me give you a little bit about Chenault. He is 6'1" and weighs 227 pounds.
Beast.
And runs
4.3, 4.44.
It's 4.3s.
Yeah.
It's high 4.3s.
Yeah.
And breakaway speed, just an incredible wide receiver. So I when they did that, I went, wait a minute. I know who that is, and I've watched this cat before. That may be a really great pick that nobody is going to talk about. Because if you look at the grade that they gave him, where that went.
That was an A, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think it was B. It's 42nd pick. It'll be on this side.
They gave him an A minus.
They did give him an A minus, which is probably because of the injury thing. I really think he would have been the first wide receiver to go in the draft if it hadn't been for injury. So I'm really happy with that pickup for Jacksonville. The third round pick that they had was pick 9 in the round 3, or the 73rd pick, and the guy that they picked up is a defensive tackle out of Ohio State. His name is Devon Hamilton. And if you watch this cat play, which most of you probably have if you've watched college football, you watched him play in one of the playoff games against Clemson.
Right.
And he held his own extremely well
against a
very good line from Clemson. I think this is another one of those players that you look at and you go, that's a great pick. They fill one of their needs. They're rebuilding the line. They're tackles and ends. They've done that, which is a really good thing for Jacksonville.
Yes, it is.
With the 10th pick in the 4th round, they pick 116. They picked up a guy named Ben Barch. And I went,
who's that?
Who is that? And we were on the phone, and I went, St. John's of Minnesota. David, do you know anything about this at all? Because I would like to try to keep up with football, but this is like a Division 14A.
It's a Division 3 school.
Buried deep in the middle of Little Sisters of the Poor or something.
Let me break this down for Byron if you don't know. You got Division 1 college football, which is the FBS. So I will tell you
14.
You got the FCS, which used to be the old Division 1 AA.
Right.
Then you got Division 2 and Division 3, and then NAIA, which is basically your junior colleges. So you play in one of those 4 divisions, and then, of course, junior college football, which has our own national championship as well. So Byron has dug down into the depth charts of NCAA football to get this guy.
Sisters of the Poor. Okay, no. In all seriousness, this guy is 6'6" and weighs 309 pounds, and probably will be gaining some more weight in the NFL. The kid is very talented from the videos that I've watched of him. We will actually see what happens with this. When you go pick players like this, you always take a chance whether it's going to work or whether it's not going to work. Some really, really, really good football players have come out of those divisions.
Yes, they have.
I can tell you one of them that everybody will remember, and he played for the 49ers. And he was a wide receiver.
Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley State.
Mississippi Valley State, that was Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can come up with players from past drafts that were really good players from small schools.
Yeah.
How about from Florida A&M?
Which one?
Played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Which one? I think there's been more than one, hasn't there?
About Bob Hayes?
No.
No, let me see.
Nate Newton.
Nate Newton.
Nate Newton?
Yeah, Nate Newton. I forgot.
Bob Hayes was out of A&M too, wasn't he? Or am I wrong about that?
I don't think so.
I thought he was too. You'll have to look that
Yeah,
up.
I'll check on that.
Yeah.
But both of those players that we just talked about are great, absolutely great players for Dallas.
Anthony Black, I do want to answer that before we go on because Byron's right in the middle of the Jaguars. Byron asked me the same question. Did the Army or Navy quarterbacks, both of them that played that game, or did they get drafted in the... They was not draft eligible. They was not draft eligible at this time. And, by the way, unless they get special permission to enter the NFL draft, once you become an Army or Navy player, no matter what position you play, you've got to give a 6-year commitment to that particular armed forces. So when you go to play, unless you get a special waiver from the armed forces that you're playing with to let you go to the NFL draft, and then maybe you can do your time reserve time, or not. If not, you have to go and give them your 6 years worth of service.
I'll give you a prime example. Went to Air Force.
Oh, I know.
Yes,
Errol Johnson.
Yeah.
Pilot. ATM Warhog pilot.
Which one?
Yeah.
Wait, Johnston?
Yes.
Yes.
Errol Johnson. He was an ATM Warhog pilot.
Probably one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys players ever come out of one of the
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you another one, too. I don't know if y'all remember him. Michael may remember him. Michael, do you remember a guy named Phil McConkey?
Oh, yes.
The wide receiver for the New York Giants.
come out
of Navy.
And I don't think that
So-
the Navy or the Army lost any players, did they?
If they did, it was very few, and there probably wasn't that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
up that high for to be able to get a pass for that. But both of those teams will be good, and we'll get into all that, Anthony, as college football season comes near. But yeah, no, that's why those quarterbacks aren't in this draft.
Yep. And pick number 31, or the 137th pick in the 4th round, the Jacksonville Jaguars picked up a cornerback by the name of Josiah Scott out of Michigan State. He's 5'9" and 185 pounds, and that to me is a little bit undersized for today's NFL. But he is, from what I remember seeing of him, a pretty good corner. Do you know anything about him?
He's how tall? 5'11"?
5'9",
5'9"?
which actually means he's probably 5'8" or 5'7".
7.
I mean, as long as he has the ability to speed and he's got a good jumping ability. A lot of it's how high he can actually jump vertically.
Yeah.
It plays a lot of roles. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as you got the vertical leap and you can defend
I didn't
the
think
pass.
I didn't think it was a terrible pick. I thought it was actually a pretty good pick.
I thought it was too. We talked about that.
And the Ben Burks pick wasn't a bad pick after I started doing research because the
Right.
kid's talented. And here we go with the next pick that Jacksonville had in the 4th round. Yes, they had multiple picks in this round. They at pick 34 in the 4th or 140th. They got one of the steals of the draft. Another one to me. Because they picked up Shaquille Quarterman, linebacker out of Miami. Kid's 6 foot tall, 234 pounds, can run like the wind, can cover, will knock your block off, and can rush the passer too, and is intelligent. And I don't know if Gator fans out there remember much about that game against Miami this year, but he was all over the place.
He had like 12 or 14 solo tackles.
Solo tackles.
Yeah.
The kid really is a great player and really a good fit for what Jacksonville normally does on defense. I was really pleased with this pick, and both of us got excited on the phone when they picked this guy up. I went, wait a minute, I didn't even remember he was eligible for the draft. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Why isn't he going higher than that? That kid's really good. So Just a really good linebacker on a team that wasn't very good is the reason that happened.
That's correct.
In the 5th round, the 12th pick in the 5th round, with the 157th pick, Jacksonville picked up a safety by the name of Daniel Thomas out of Auburn. 5'10" and 215 pounds. And if I remember correctly, this guy will unload on you and is great at stopping the run.
Yes.
He's pretty good at stopping the pass. I thought it was another great pick. I normally don't look at a Jacksonville draft and you won't hear me saying pick after pick after pick. It's a great pick. But there are a bunch of players out there this year that have been really good, that are really good players that have gone to all sort of different teams. There haven't been too many bad drafts this year.
Right.
Pick number 20. Yes, they had another pick in the 5th round, and it was 165. And this pick intrigues me because I've watched this kid too. He's not the greatest route runner in the world. He's a wide receiver out of Texas, a guy named by the name of Colin Johnson. You don't have to be a great route runner if you're 6'6" and weigh 222 pounds at a quarterback position. That's a tight end. They add 10 pounds to him, and that is a tight end in the NFL.
Yes, it is.
I don't think they'll do that. I think what they'll do is they'll use him as wide receiver on the goal lines and in certain situations to pick up first downs with jump balls.
Right.
That is an outstanding pick. The guy's got pretty sure hands too. He pretty much catches everything.
Yes, he does.
Thrown at him. So once again, they picked up another great player. Now, here's the one that kind of had me scratching my head. In the 6th round for the 10th pick, or the 189th pick overall, they picked up a quarterback out of Oregon State by the name of Jake Luton. He's got the prototypical size of a quarterback in the NFL. He's 6'6", and he weighs 224 pounds. And he's got a pretty strong arm, but I
didn't see that pick either. Byron was trying to say I didn't see that pick coming either.
I didn't see it coming. And it's not, once again, they have had some absolute steals and some great picks to me.
Yeah.
This one is not a bad pick. They need a backup for
Minshew. Yep.
And they got it. So it's a good pick. I'm not doing cartwheels or flips or something like that over it, but it's a pretty good pick. At the 27th pick, and yes, this is another multiple pick round for them. The 206th pick overall in the 6th round, they picked up a tight end by the name of Tyler Davis out of Georgia Tech. He is 6'4" and weighs 252 pounds.
That big.
Big boy.
That's a really big boy, and if you watched Georgia Tech up until this last year, you'll understand why. Because that was a triple option team, and they didn't use tight ends in the passing game a whole lot.
He's going to be a blocker.
He's mainly a blocker, and I don't know about his hands. I don't remember seeing this kid catch anything, man. And I watched the ACC because Florida State's in it. I don't remember seeing any highlights of him catching anything at all.
No.
I'm sure they're out there.
Do you know why? Because, they just tried out. You remember they used to run that wishbone.
Yeah.
And then Johnson's leave, and then they got that new coach. He tried to open up the offense a little bit, but they still had to rely on the run quite a bit.
Right.
So the tight end didn't get a lot of catches. But probably a note on him is probably a great blocker.
Oh, he's great. I was about to say, he's got to be a great blocker at tight end to run that off.
Yeah,
but if he wants to make it in the NFL, they're going to make him lose a little bit of weight, and he's got to be able to catch with his team.
I agree.
Or he's going to be a one-shot wonder.
Well, you got to be able to catch a little bit with his hands because there have been tight ends in the NFL that have made their living out of blocking. There really has.
Yeah, there has.
The last one that we had in Jacksonville, who I thought we shouldn't have gotten rid of. I wasn't extremely upset about it, but Mercedes Lewis wasn't the greatest pass catcher in the world.
No,
but he was a great blocker, and this kid fits that mold. So we'll see what happens with it. And with any draft, we're not sure that these kids are going to even make the football team at all.
Right. That's right.
We'll see what happens with him. All right, round 7 and the last pick of the Jaguars. Pick number 9 at 223. They pick up a defensive back out of Memphis a guy by the name of Chris Claybrooks. And this pick fascinates me. The guy's 5'9" and he weighs 179 pounds. But he also has a second title to him, and that's KR. Does anybody know what KR stands for out there?
They do. Kick returner.
He's a kick returner. He plays more than one position.
Right.
So we've got and the kids. I've watched this kid play too. Watched him dismantle FSU, and you don't hardly ever say that in a game 2 years ago. So, but yeah, overall, I thought their draft was excellent. I really thought that the C grade that you're seeing from some of these people, that they know it all. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think the draft overall, to me, deserves at least a B- grade, maybe a B, just a regular B.
Well, okay, all right. So I do have somebody that's got some sense, and I'll give it to Byron. Byron, Jacksonville Jaguars gets a B+ on their draft.
Who said that?
So, well, that came from actually CBS sports writer by the name of, and you know him, he's an analyst on CBS Sports. Who would you think that would be?
Tom Coughlin. Oh,
Well,
sorry.
No. Tony Romo.
Really?
So he does a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar games, and who backed him up on this was Troy Aikman.
Good.
He said taking corner C.J. Henderson, first of all, was the right move. He has an outstanding cover player who needs to improve his tackling, which we talked about. They need that was a major need. Now, the worst pick, they thought, and I think Byron sort of alluded on it, was the Birch kid. They didn't like that pick.
The kid out
of Minnesota.
So, St. John.
He isn't big naturally and comes from a small school. It will take him time for him to play. And the skinny. They filled a lot of needs with their first 4 picks. Added 3 defensive players in that group: Henderson, Chason, and then the steal of the draft, according to them, Laviska Shenault will contribute right away. Keep an eye on quarterback Luton that you were talking about too. They say.
Thank you. I'm really glad you pulled that up because
the way you broke it down is exactly. I was listening to that.
It's very close to what Tony Romo was just talking about, and
Troy.
Which I'm glad to hear that because I'm telling you,
Two Dallas Cowboys.
I did not watch them do that. I don't. Once this is over with, I don't listen to any of this.
Yeah,
talking head nonsense, because normally I look at it and I shake my head and go, "Y'all are idiots."
Yeah.
With the exception of a few things that Jacksonville has done in the past by picking up players that have problems.
And did you notice the names that I said? Who wrote this?
Troy Aikman and
what position did they play?
Quarterback.
They're pretty smart.
Yes, they are.
Aikman and Tony Romo can pretty much call the plays before they actually happen.
Tony Romo, and I will get into that in a minute. All right, Byron, anything else that you wanted to add real quick for the Jaguars? Because I wanted to send it over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next.
Maybe the next time we do sports, we should do the free agency too.
All right, I can do that.
The people picked up, these teams picked up in free agency.
Do you want to talk about just the 2 players they lost real quick on the defensive end? One that I didn't definitely, the first one I definitely didn't agree with.
Well,
as being a Jaguars fan too.
The first and foremost, one of the greatest linemen I've seen in a very long time, Jacksonville let go. And they let him go to another AFC team that didn't need help on anything.
Not really.
And that was Calais Campbell. I have literally looked at the Jacksonville Jaguars 4 times and went, what are you doing with
By the way, all they did was help the Ravens defense, by the way.
I don't understand that.
And the man of the year. How do you get rid of a class act guy like that anyway?
Even if you don't think he's going to be able to continue to play, you keep somebody on your team like that to help the other players.
To help motivate
the other players. Because Calais Campbell is that special. The guy, that body type with that mentality, you don't see very often. But there have been literally 4 times I have been not very happy with Jacksonville about the people they let go. The first time it was Tony Baselli. Never even injured. I thought they should have kept him on the team because of his leadership skills and because he could have always worked out of it, or could have worked out of it.
Right.
And been the tackle that he was, or guard he was previously. I thought that was a mistake. The next two times were both times they let go of Tom Coughlin. I am sorry, you cannot let go of a person who has 2 Super Bowl rings.
I agree.
And has been to the AFC Championship with the Jaguars 3 times. The AFC Championship game 3 times. He has been a part of taking them to that. That infuriated me when they did that this last time. He won't ever have anything to do with the Jacksonville organization.
No.
He'll have a lot to do with Jacksonville, but not with the organization. And the fourth, who do you think was the fourth? Calais Campbell.
Yeah, without a doubt. I knew he was going to say that.
You were just talking about Calais. Those 4 times are really the only problems I've ever had with Jacksonville. And a lot of people here in Jacksonville were really upset when they let go of a guy that's from Florida State,
Jalen Ramsey.
And it was a great corner in Jacksonville and has done nothing
since
then. And that's because he had teammates on the other side that could actually play. We were talking about shutdown corners. Jalen Ramsey is a great player. Jalen Ramsey is not a shutdown corner. Know why? Because you watched him play for the Rams.
Yep. I didn't see much out of him. Did you, Mitchell? Michael? Didn't see much out of him over there.
You put good players on the other side of him, he becomes a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
All by himself, I haven't seen it. So, but that's all over with, all said and done. This draft was excellent. If you love the Jaguars like I do, watch them this next year. Watch what they talk about in preseason and watch some of these players. Because there is at least 3 of them that I really think are going to start on this team.
All right, yes or no question. Put it around the table. Guys, you can come in as well. Better than last year's record of 5-11? They were 5-11, right? Better than 5-11.
They make the playoffs.
You say they make the playoffs.
I agree. Absolutely.
Agreed. Make the playoffs.
Wild card.
Yep. I say the same thing.
Yep.
They won't win the division. I say a wild card. Jacksonville has got the players for sure. All right.
They'll make the playoffs simply because of the offensive additions that they have. Because they're going to fix the offensive line. And they have added unbelievably good wide receivers.
Yes, they have.
Already good wide receiver core. That's
Yeah.
going to be a competition worth watching.
Yes, it is.
Because
Yes, it is.
you really do. You've got really good wide receivers and a fantastic tight end that they picked up from Mr. Dave Holland's team.
Yeah, from the
The Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm
Yeah.
telling
How do you
you-
get rid of Tyler Eifert? I don't
understand.
I'm glad.
I don't understand that either. They're going to be fun on offense to watch this year, and it is going to be the first time in a long time that I've been able to sit back and go, the offense is actually, I think, is going to be better than the defense for Jacksonville. With that being said, until somebody gets the ball and he looks like he's not putting any effort out.
Calais Campbell and who's the other guy we just talked about that they got rid of? What's his name?
Sell?
No. The defensive guy. Just one.
You're talking about Ramsey.
Not Ramsey. The lineman.
They haven't gotten rid of him.
Not yet. Okay, that's right.
Unique Ngakoue. Ngakoue's still there.
Okay, and Ngakoue's still there, but
He wanted
Calais
$25
Campbell-
million a year to play in. He's a situational end.
And Calais Campbell there, I would say more than just a wild card team. I think they could probably have a chance to win the division, but that's here or there. All right, breaking down the teams, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on the spot with David Rodgers, special sports edition this Sunday. Now I'm going to bring in our director, Mr. Michael Heater, and he's going to talk about a team that really did really good in the free agency and in their draft picks. Mr. Michael Heater, tell us about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey, good afternoon, Dave. Hello, everybody. We delved into a little bit of Buccaneers thing. I myself am a huge Jaguars fan, but growing up, I was all about the Bucs. And so I want to go ahead and give you some information here. Basically, the Bucs stopped.
I like it.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Just as a reminder, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers joined the NFL back in 1976. They were an expansion team.
Yes, they were.
Joined at the same time as the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And they are part of the NFC South.
Yeah.
One of the chairmen, Brian Glazer, he's in his 25th year with the Buccaneers. And, of course, as you all know, that they claimed their first NFL title with a victory over Oakland in Super Bowl 37. That was back in 2003 when they played over in San Diego.
Right.
So, with that being said, we picked up 7 arrivals following the draft. Of course, the biggest name in that was Tom Brady, of course.
NFL free agency. Yeah, absolutely.
We also, Gronk has also come on board, come out of retirement for that one.
Yeah.
But you also picked up Joel Haig. Blaine Gabbert was released and then picked back up again. Brian Smith, Kevin Minter, a few others like that. And then, of course, they exercised their option on O.J. Howard. So, and he was the team's first-round pick back in 2017. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, now on Friday, they awarded first-year kicker Elliott Fry off waivers. And that was the day after he was released from the Panthers.
Okay.
And he joins Matt Gay, who is the 2019 fifth-round pick, and they'll be competing for the starting job. So that's going to be interesting to watch, to see how all that plays out like that one. Quick breakdown on the picks by round. First round was the 13th pick overall, of course, was Tristan Wirfs, which we spoke about like that. Round 2 was Antoine Winfield, was picked up. Round 3, Keyshawn Vaughn, who's a running back. I think that's going to be a big pick for them because I think when you look at Brady coming in, of course, you know James Winston went to New Orleans Saints,
yep,
which is a 1-year contract. That's a whole other topic that's worth discussing.
That is.
Because that's interesting because I'm really curious to see they've you got Drew Brees, who's fantastic, but he's kind of like on the downhill.
He'll be able to tune her under Drew Brees if he can keep his ego in check. There you go.
Yeah,
I wanted to say one thing before you go on with this.
Yeah.
That first pick from Tampa Bay, that is a fantastic pick. I mean, a fantastic pick. You're defending Brady with a great player. And
Brady throws what? Right-handed. So where do you want him to protect you at? On that left side. That's what Tristan Wirfs said. He's a left tackle. Yeah. So great job.
Right.
Great job, Peter.
Yeah, I think so. Now, when we got into the fifth round, the 161st pick overall, of course, was Tyler Johnson. He's a wide receiver. I like him because he's a bit of a sleeper. I think you're going to see a lot of development on him as he moves on because I think that he's moldable, and I think that if he starts to click with Tom Brady, watch this kid. I'm telling you, Tyler Johnson. That's the name you're going to need to remember. Round 6, we got Khalil Davis coming in on the defensive tackle. Round 7, we picked up Chappelle Russell and Raymond Calais coming in as well. So overall, pretty good. I think they got some really good talent they're brought in like that one. Of course, when you do that, you lose some players. So from Gerald Hawkins and Darian Stewart, Earl Watford, Josh Wells.
I was surprised about Earl Watford.
Yeah, I was too because he really seemed to do well like that one. Sam Acho and DeMar Dotson, they were all asked not to resign. So they're out in the mix there like that. Of course, they terminated one, Colin Thompson. He was terminated. But overall, this is a bit of a transitional period. It's going to be very interesting to see how they move forward, moving from the Jameis Winston era into the
automatically into the playoffs with their drafts and the things that they've done.
I would tend to agree on that one. I think
if they can protect Brady,
and
he's going to have a field day with those weapons that he's got at wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree, and that's going to be the problem here. Is that I think that you're going to have to really focus on how things are going to progress during the offseason and spring training, because I'm really curious to see how the offensive line is going to be able to protect Brady, knowing that I truly believe that while Brady is some people consider him one of the greatest, I don't think he has the mobility that he used to get out of the pocket the way that he would scramble. the way other quarterbacks do. So the offensive line's got to really step up. If they cannot solidify the offensive line, we're really going to have an issue with that.
If he can stay off of his back long enough to release a football, he has got targets.
Yeah.
He'll go get anything.
Right.
And that's what I think Michael was saying
Exactly.
if he didn't have that blocking, he could scramble back in the day.
Exactly.
Now he's gotten older and a little bit slower. Hey, you got linebackers that'll run you down in the New York second. You got defensive ends, edge rushers that'll run you down in the New York second. And Brady will be in trouble if he don't have a line to block. That's why that worst kid.
I was throwing things around the house when that pick went on because
Yes, we did. We wanted words.
I wanted Jacksonville to pick the kid up and their first pick. First pick.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
B minus according to the two boys for the Bucs. Second round safety Antonio Winfield Jr. adds a nice piece to a back end that is young and needs some help.
Yeah,
Why does that name
Yes.
sound familiar?
Because he played at Alabama.
Yep.
He has the right range.
Yeah. Winfield sound familiar.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Dave Winfield Jr. maybe? Maybe that's his son or his grandson?
I think they're kids.
Third round, worst pick. The third round running back, Keyshawn Vaughn, is a good runner, but I think they were better options on the board when he was taken.
I'll agree with you on that one. However, I think what they see in him is what they have talked about, because I was listening to one of the other sports shows, and they think that he is moldable and that he can read Brady. I think what they were looking for is not so
Maybe
much his
so
pure
much
talent.
working.
It was It was the fact that they saw something that allowed them to be able to work together.
I'm wondering also, too, and do you remember if Taylor wasn't there, that was the third round pick, was Dobbins there? Because I believe Dobbins was there, but maybe he's right.
I do, and I don't disagree that Dobbins wouldn't have been a great pick, but I really think that the whole reason why they went with Vaughn was because they could see something where there was a bit of a mesh between Brady, the offensive line, and again, we won't know until we get into some practicing. But I think that was, in my opinion, that was a good pick. I may be wrong, but
no, you may be right too. The skinny, you said it right up above Mike. They traded up one spot to land first round tackle Tristan Wirfs, which they had to do. They had to do that.
Yeah, there's no.
He will be an immediate starter, and actually on Brady's, he's going to actually be the right tackle over here.
Okay.
So getting Winfield also was a nice pickup. So they get a B minus. Michael, playoffs or no?
Hold on for a second. I'll tell you somebody else who was there for that pick for them too.
Well, you're still looking at second round now. So this was the third round pickup.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. All right.
Yeah, definite wild card. And here's the reason why. I don't want to overinflate this. I think Brady's going to bring a spark of enthusiasm to the game. I think he's actually going to do really well with this one. Playoffs, more than likely. But to be honest, I'm hesitant about the offensive line.
Yeah, me too.
I will tell you straight up. I think the first 2 games of the season, not preseason, get through preseason. Those don't count. First 2 games of the season. If they lose either one of the first 2 games of the regular season, no playoffs, barely make wild card. Win the first 2 games, start to really solidify that front line and get the O going like that one. Yeah, playoffs, definite possibility.
Mike, Mitchell.
And we're having.
Yeah, I think they'll at least make a wild card. I think they will grab it.
What do you think? Wild card or do you think division?
I think they could possibly win the division if they get off the right start.
You know who they got to put out, right?
Yeah,
The Saints.
The Saints.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yeah. So
But you are talking about Tom Brady.
Yes,
you
you
are
are.
talking about Gronkowski.
yes, you
You're
are.
talking about Mike
Evans,
You're talking about this
the receiver they just got, and who's the other receiver on the other side? I can't. What's his name?
It all comes down to the offensive line. How
Right.
they
Well, yeah, it does.
And,
It does.
and there's something else that you need to consider as well. And again, this has everything to do with conditioning. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of difference between New England
Yeah.
and Florida. When it
Yes,
comes to
there is.
summertime.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So that's going to be the big thing for me, is to see how they're going to condition him to the humidity, not the heat. I mean, it gets hot up in New England.
Glad you
no
brought
doubt.
that up.
But the humidity is going to be a
solid
problem,
question.
and that's where I'm concerned
That's
about the
solid
first
question.
2
Before
games.
you ask, I
Okay.
want to make one comment.
All right.
By the way, guys, we're not going to have as long a preseason this year as we normally have.
No, we're not. That's right.
That's the other thing,
That's the other thing, too.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
preseason's not going to be as long, and it's not because of COVID-19. It's because they added an extra game at the end.
Yeah, now you're 17 games.
Now you're playing 17
Yes.
games, and is it? Did they?
Yeah.
I never heard that whether they were going to reduce it to 2 games or whether they went to 3
On which one?
on the actual preseason.
Preseason still 3
That-
games.
okay,
games, yeah.
so there's
Yeah,
three preseasons, three
Three
season games instead of 4,
That's easy
and
for you
they
to say.
added another game
Right.
to the regular schedule.
All right. So, we all agree that they're at least a playoff team. Okay.
Yeah.
So, back to your Jacksonville. The experts, everybody that I've read, Jacksonville, what do you think? Plus or minus 7? What do you think most experts said?
They probably said they're going to be under 500.
6.5 games for the Jaguars win.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what they're predicting. 6.5 games. I think it's 10.
Yeah,
All right.
that exactly.
I think it's 10.
Absolutely.
You know what they
Yes.
said about the Bucks?
Yeah.
Plus 9.5.
Yes.
So they're taking 9 to 10 wins there. I think Jacksonville was 10 wins for sure. I don't say that wins the division, and I say at least 10 wins for the Bucks.
I don't think it wins the division because of who's in our division
Right.
and what
Well,
they picked up in the draft. Because if you look at the Colts draft, it's great. If you
Right.
look at the Titans draft, you may not think it's great, but if you start looking at the players that they picked up on top of what they already had, it was great too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a very, very difficult division to play in.
Yes, it is.
Especially with the addition of Taylor to the Colts. My
Yeah.
goodness, how do the teams let that running back go that low?
All right. Let me get to a couple of things. Bucks have a new water boy, Tom Brady. Nice. I like it. All right. Yep. A water boy that makes several $1 million a year. I'd love that job. The Bucks all over offense is going to be deadly. Now with Gronk, Brady, Mike Evans, and all the other receivers, we just talked about that. What their question, they had the worst defense in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why that was? Unfortunately, I hate to say it. When you got a 30-30 guy, Jameis Winston was good, threw 30 touchdowns, but he had 30 interceptions, 30 picks.
That's
5 of them to the house,
Yes.
I believe. 5 or 6 of them to the house.
Yeah.
And then, not on top of that, Mike, how about all the balls that he dropped? The fumbles. We're not even talking about that.
And that's
You're asking your defense to hold you when you got 4 or 5 turnovers every game. It's not going to happen.
right. You're overplaying the defense, and that's the reason why I'm not going to delve into the whole Saints thing like that. I am kind of curious to see how the Saints are going to utilize James Winston because now with that being said, they got. I mean, he 5 years in Tampa Bay, correct?
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years, yeah.
They got him on a 1-year contract for $1 million. Come on, that's a
All right.
steal.
I want to throw something to you.
So
I want to throw something to you before I lose it, Byron. I want to throw something to you. You were just talking about the Saints and in this division right here. You got to remember the Saints, unless Breeze just gets absolutely hurt, Winston's probably not going to see any playing time.
Agreed.
Unless the game's out of hand. But let me tell you something else they got. They got a kid named Tyson Hill.
Yes. Now Hill. Now, Hill.
That is a multiple player. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the second string.
Well, and I will agree with that. And I will tell you and now this is just pure opinion. Pure opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I have no doubt that they wanted to kind of help build up some redundancy in the quarterback position because they've only got 2. I would not be surprised if somewhere whispering in the dark tunnels of the stadium that they said, Hill, watch Winston and don't do what he does.
Yeah, and he hasn't. I mean, Tyson Hill has shown you everything. Every time that I seen the kid, he was doing some kind of a great play.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Here is
now that
what I'm
play.
going to say about this. You have a coach that's what?
Yeah, you're talking
An
about Sean
offensive-
Payton, an offensive coordinator.
He's an
Yeah.
offensive coordinator
Yeah.
and an offensive guru who's
Yes, he
very
is.
familiar with how to control quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time playing with them right now. You also have a great offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And we've seen what happened with Jameis Winston when he has offensive gurus around him in college. And
Yep.
he can repeat that again. He's still going to make boneheaded plays. He is a gunslinger, just like
Yep.
Favre was.
Yeah, not far.
But at the same time, 1 pick or 2 picks a game and 6 touchdowns like he was throwing in college.
Yeah.
And you could have the air. You really, honestly, could have the heir apparent there for an
You
absolute
could.
steal.
You could.
But Jameis is going to have to stop
He's got to
the silliness.
Yes, yeah.
Because I was watching some of that. And
Absolutely.
where did this come from? You're a better quarterback than this. I know you're a better quarterback.
I've seen him. Not that I want to show my legs. There you go. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Right, yeah.
So he'd get the ball, right? Take the snap. And he'd bring it to here. Nobody around him. And the ball drops out of your hand.
Yes.
Or you go to scramble, and the ball slips. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. So,
Concentration problem.
correct. And I was just going to say that. Is there maybe a concentration problem?
Well,
You need to go see a shrink.
No.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Pitchers do.
No,
Yeah.
here's the deal. I'll tell you straight up. His biggest issue is that he's so busy trying to think about what he's going to do 10, 20 seconds
Right.
ahead. He's already thinking about how he's going to get this pass play out. He's already thinking about how he's going to have to avoid the tackle.
You're right.
That he's not paying attention to the snap, and he's fumbling the snap, or he's fumbling short.
He's fumbling the snap many times.
That's the biggest issue with him, was that he just never focused on the here and now. He was always 20, 30 seconds ahead, and he was focused on what was going on at that moment.
Well, you saw what Jimbo used to always have to do with him.
Yes.
He started that, and it
Yeah.
went.
Yes, that's true.
So he may be one of those people that you really have to get to.
Just still,
hey,
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't want to let a guy go like that because he's got the physical attributes.
God,
He's got the arm.
The kid is a great
Yeah,
quarterback.
he's got the physical tools. Just got to get here. It's mental for him, as Mitchell was saying.
Got
He
crab
just
legs on the brain.
maybe so. Maybe he's thinking about getting a Publix.
Could be.
All right. Anyway, great job here. We're going to go over to the stick around, Mike, with us. Hey, look here. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I know that they're America's team, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so let's talk about America's team. First of all, Dallas Cowboys had a pretty good team last year. They did short record-wise.
Right.
There are some games that they blew.
Offensively, by yards.
It was their
touchdowns,
defense. I was looking, yes.
It was very good.
Yeah, it was. It was their defense at times.
And I'll tell you, they have really been working not just on their draft, but the reason why they drafted the people that they drafted is because of one, Awuzie, which plays as their corner.
Right.
They're talking about moving him to a safety.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
So with them moving him to a safety, that's the reason why they went after Diggs and Robertson to fill in those spots on the outside as your cornerbacks. Both of them are 6'1", about 205 pounds.
Yep.
So they're pretty good size corners, and that will free him up back there. And then speak of something else that's kind of wild that is going on, but they're also talking about taking Jalen Smith and changing what he brings on the defensive side, and he is going to be more of your pass rusher than anything else, just sitting back there as a linebacker. So a lot of things are changing on the defense, and since they're going that route, they have to look for players that fit in those other gaps, and that's where those two guys fit in as your cornerbacks. Now, they're also talking about taking Cooper from an outside running back, bringing him in also as a slot, and they'll have him as a slot and they'll have Gallup as a slot.
So bringing him from
So
the
they can
wide,
actually
from
play-
a wide out to bring him into the
Right.
flanker slot position.
So they can actually run 4 receivers at one time. So with them doing that, that's the reason why they brought in C.D. Lamb, is
Put
to
him on the
fill
outside.
on the outside spot to
Absolute
fill in for Cooper.
another absolute steal in
So-
the draft. They,
that.
Yeah.
And I thought Jerry was so happy that he almost gave himself a heart attack. When
Yeah,
he
when
put that down.
remember when he was on that yacht?
Oh, yeah, he
Was that his good looking wife that was sitting beside him?
Okay,
Whatever, man. She was ecstatic too.
And Lamb is a 6'2", 285-pound wide receiver.
Yeah.
Possibly probably get up to a 205. He's going to bring that type of size as Dak, not Dak Prescott. Jesus, Des Bryant.
Right, yes.
We had Des Bryant
Yeah.
playing. He brings that size and that physical
Yes, he does.
type of
Talking
ball
about
play.
CeeDee Lamb now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That CeeDee Lamb is faster than
Than,
Des Bryant ever thought
Yeah.
of being.
So he's also going to wear the 88 number. So that's already been out there that he will be wearing the 88 numbers. So he's got some big shoes to fill. But I think he's going to be a great asset for Dallas.
Drew Pearson.
And I
wore that.
see him for playing with them for a very long time. You know, and talk about other players, you know, that we're losing our center, Doug Free. He decided to go ahead and retire.
Yep.
And guess who they bring in? You like to say his last name.
That'd be all right.
Tyler.
Eifert. No. Tyler.
Yeah.
Which one?
Ballas? How do you say it? You know how to say it, right?
Batista?
Ballas.
Let me see it. Give me that. Let me give me that right there. Oh yeah, Tyler Blattis.
Yeah,
Blattis.
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 So he'll
Yeah, I was
fill
like,
in
I'm going to make sure which Tyler.
for Doug Free, which they need someone
Yeah.
with some really great size. He's 6'3", 316 pounds.
Where was he out of? Is he out of Colorado?
He is actually out of Wisconsin.
That's the guy. Remember we kept talking. And that was the guy right there that I wanted in that other pick.
And not only is he a big guy that's good at blocking, but he can get down the field in
You know
a
who
hurry
he blocked
for
for?
his size. And he
run-
can
do you
block
know
those
who he-
linebackers.
Do you know who he blocked for? Probably the best running back in this class. I don't care what anybody says. Block for Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. You know, he
So-
can pass block too.
Yes, he can.
That Jacksonville picked our Jacksonville. I wanted Jacksonville to pick
Me
him,
too.
but Dallas ended up.
And
Yeah.
then they picked up an A, defensive end.
Yeah, that's what they
That's
got.
going to help out DeMarcus Lawrence, which is playing on the other side. They'll
Yeah.
have two edge guys
Rushers. Yeah.
coming from both angles at you. And that's going to play a lot of havoc on the offensive line to try to control both of them because they're both very physical. They can grab a hold of your offensive lineman and just shuck them to the side.
You better hope
come
you
on
have
in
two
there.
good tackles that can move because these guys are going to come around on you quick.
I mean, he's 6'3", 265 pounds. So he is a pretty good sized defensive end.
Yeah.
Danucci, they picked him up as a quarterback from James Madison. And
I want to ask you about that because me and Byron was when this was going on, we went, why did they do that? Because now, after picking up Dalton, which I know you're going to talk about, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. I don't know why they took this kid there. Do you think they took him maybe because that was the best available player maybe on the board at that time that they thought? Because really they didn't need him.
well, I tell you, he's a pretty good sized quarterback. He's 6'3",
Yeah.
209 pounds.
And he's an FCS quarterback, so he plays in that next division with the North Dakota States and all them that win national championships each year. But James Madison did win a national championship. It just wasn't last year. But they're about the same as North Dakota State. I just don't know why they took that kid right there. But anyway,
Well, maybe they didn't think they were actually going to get Andy.
That's what I was going to say. Is
At
I don't
first.
think they thought they were going to. I think he was a backup plan, contingency,
Right.
and he was on the board.
so
They would
to
have
learn
snatched
under
him.
Prescott, maybe, I guess.
I think he's going to compete for the backup position. Yeah.
I believe
Nah,
so.
I
too.
don't think he was going to win it.
No, I didn't say he's
Yeah.
going to win it. I just say that I think they
But
brought him in
hey,
to compete.
he'd be your third string quarterback.
Yep.
Let me tell you
I'm
something.
gonna say-
What size is that kid? What'd you say he is?
6'3", 209.
Let me tell you something. You know what else you can do with him, right? Hey, you may not make it as a quarterback, son. How about a slot man or a wide receiver or using him, hey, maybe as a running back every
gonna
once in
say,
a while.
I can see
Maybe
that.
running the cowboy cat,
Yep.
or whatever. That's so
possibility.
maybe that's why they brought that kid in. That could be.
What was
Maybe
his
so.
accuracy? Was it? You know what is it?
71% of his passes.
71%.
Yeah, he led FCS in accuracy.
Kid's a good football player.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if they just brought him in just again as a contingency and more of a more well-rounded player in the event.
And Mike,
Right.
James Madison.
Yeah, smart.
absolutely.
You don't get into James Madison if you don't have this.
And I'll tell you straight up too. I'll tell you what my thought is, and not I'm not really comparing apples to apples per se like that one.
Right.
But look what happened to Byron Leftwich. Wasn't exactly the premier player
No.
But he has made strides as part of the coaching staff.
Well,
Yeah.
So I could see them giving him a little bit of opportunities to play like that one, but then having him help because of that mindset,
Right.
helping people think through and working on more of an administrative.
Smart.
Hey, so that could be where
They
they
could
are.
have brought Andy Dalton in and said, hey, we're going to go out Andy Dalton. Dak's having some problems here and here. We're going to bring in this new kid, and we're going to help get Andy Dalton to
Yes.
help Dak with what he's struggling with, which we all know Dak has a problem with throwing the passes behind his receivers.
Yes.
He's got to get his timing down better.
Right.
And, and he'll also help develop this kid coming in.
Oh, Andy Dalton will help him
So-
with that all right. He keeps on throwing behind wide receivers. He may not have a job because Andy Dalton is that good when he's not flat on his back
Yeah.
like he was in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be a problem in Dallas.
No,
It's
not at
gonna
all.
be a
So,
problem.
I mean,
That's-
not with them bringing that center in to fill in for Doug Free. Doug Free's, was like a big loss for the Dallas
Oh, yes.
Cowboys for the offensive line. He got that autoimmune disease, and it took him out for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's still struggling with that some. And that was one of his decisions why he went ahead and retired. But I think this Tyler kid is going to fill in those shoes pretty well. And also go ahead and talk about another person is Neville Gilmore, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Pretty good sized fella, 6'2", 301 pounds.
Got him in the 3rd round, right?
That's I believe
And I'm
so.
going to give you some notes right here about him. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I think he's going to do a great job. I see a lot of people they pulled in the draft that are going to be starters right off the bat, especially if they're going to take Awuzie and put him back as a safety. Both those corner positions are going to be open. And I tell you, Diggs,
Can I quote you on that?
he
Yes,
can
you
be-
can.
Okay.
Anybody out of Oklahoma that is a defensive lineman, I would not have picked up, period.
With the exception
Oh,
of, and
no.
I agree with you, with the exception of either Oklahoma, and I know they couldn't stop LSU to save their life,
right.
or Baylor, or somebody upper tier like that.
They couldn't
But
have
the
stopped the Bradford County tornado. What are you talking about, man?
Hey,
That
Bradford
was
would have
the
beat them that game.
That was the worst defensive performance I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was
Good
ugly.
Lord.
Yeah, that was ugly.
And I think Diggs being being the cornerback, he's the shutdown corner.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I don't know too much about Robertson, what he will bring. But I know Diggs, he's going to shut down one side.
Right.
And so what you do, he's going to shut down one side pretty much by himself. You give over the top help with Awuzie with Robertson,
Right.
and that's how you cover the other side.
Right.
But I tell you, that Dallas, they're not done. They picked up on
Right.
Dalton.
Mhm.
They're still looking at other free agents that's out there about grabbing them. They went ahead and they hired 15 undrafted players. Went ahead
You know
and
what
went out
most of
and
them is
signed
going to
them.
be, right? They'll be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, or special teams. Or special teams.
We're talking about wide receivers. How about this guy, Aaron Parker from Rhode Island?
Yeah.
6'2", 209 pounds. They're going after big
Size.
receivers.
Yeah.
That's got some quickness to them.
You know what? You know what Rhode Island is, right? They're the Mud Hens. Did you know that?
I thought that was Toledo.
They are too. Yeah, Rhode Island Roosters or some crap. I don't know.
Toledo
Yeah,
was the Rockets or something like
Like
that.
the Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
we'll have to look that up, man. Yeah.
I tell you though, and I like what Dallas has done, but I like what Dallas did. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to be enough to really get them going.
Oh yeah, it is too.
I don't think so. I mean, I think they're going to struggle now next year. Yep, I'll say next year is good, but this coming season, I don't know.
I say to win a division.
All right, I will tell you what. All right, okay.
Compared to what the Giants and Washington and the Eagles done in their drafts, I think Dallas. Jerry Jones said this was the best draft class that Dallas has had since 2005.
I heard that. Yeah, and you know what? I know you. And I'll say this. Go over and rest you.
I'm going to agree with him. I am going to see at least one of my teams in the Super Bowl this year.
Now listen to this kid. Another wide receiver that they picked up undrafted was Kendrick Rodgers. out of Texas A&M.
Yeah.
6'4".
Yeah.
208 pounds.
This guy he's a freaking.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's got a wingspan that's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Jimbo Fisher's boy.
So-
Jimbo Fisher's boys.
So you can see what they're doing. The reason why they're talking about bringing Cooper in, making him a slot.
Yeah.
They got Gallup. He's going to be inside guy.
Yeah.
And they're going to have two big guys on the outside when they go into
It's going to be the second coming.
to a shotgun formation.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's going to wreak some havoc with the big guys on the outside.
Sure. It is.
I'm just not convinced that they're going to be as glorious as what they're hoping for. And that's just my opinion. I think there's some growing pains they're going to have to be dealing
I think
with.
that's the reason why they picked up so many. So they can go through them and they can find their
That's
diamonds in the rough.
I
and
agree.
then they go,
And that's the best way to describe it. It's diamonds in the rough. I just don't see them being the top tier team this year. Next year, watch out.
I'm telling you, it's not going to take a whole lot.
I didn't say it was.
And their multi-million-dollar quarterback is going to be sitting on a bench as a second stringer. It's not going to take a whole lot.
and I tell you what, they also were working on the backfield with running backs and fullbacks because they grabbed both of the players from TCU, which is Anderson as the running back,
Right.
and I cannot pronounce the other guy's name for.
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Samoan or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Siwo Olanulu.
Olanu, there you go. Thank you.
Bless you.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Yeah.
But
Thank you.
Olanu, as a fullback, he rushed for 537 yards last year with 8 touchdowns. And Anderson, the running back, rushed for 823 yards. And he's also a kick returner. So when you bring Anderson, you will probably see him start. He will
Probably.
be your kick returner to save that on your wide receivers.
Sure.
Yeah. Say
You
that
know,
on
as
your
being
starters.
your return,
Yeah.
your returner or your
Yeah.
cornerbacks, your big money guys. They're going to bring him in. That's probably where he's going to start from.
Right.
But it also gives you some insurance if something happens to Elliott.
Yeah, that's true.
You got two guys that have
Like I
been
said,
what
yeah.
for 4 years. They've played together.
Yeah.
So they
That's
know
true.
each other very well. So
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true.
really smart to pick both of them up undrafted from the same university and them always playing with each other. And then he also picked up another running back out of South Carolina.
All right.
So-
I love this. I'm going to tell y'all something right now that I
What was the
think.
kid's name from South Carolina?
That is Rico Dowling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had 500 yards rushing. And he's 5'11", 213 pounds.
Good size. Now, I'm going to tell you this. As much as I love Dalvin Cook, and I think Dalvin Cook will be one of the leaders right along with Christian McCaffrey from Carolina, I will say that Ezekiel Elliott will compete for the rushing title this year.
Oh,
Just because of the weapons that are on the outside,
sure.
you're going to keep defense honest. You're going to cover our wide receivers. Hey, you're going to leave 3 or 4 guys in the box, and we're going to take our wide receivers and we're going to flood you out. The corners and the safeties. Hand it to Elliott. Elliott's going to be scampering for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 yards before anybody makes a
yeah,
stop.
because you can't have
Right.
8 men in the box.
Box.
When you've
Right.
got 2 wide receivers out there,
Yeah.
you've got that kind of
That's
height
height and speed.
and speed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're going to have to cover your back end on you.
Yeah.
So you're going to at least have to play. I say they're going to have to play cover 2.
They're going to have
They're not
to.
going to be able to play
No.
man because I'll tell you what, those corners come up against those big guys. They're
Yeah.
going to get shoved in the dirt the first 5
Yeah,
yards.
they sure
They're
are.
going to be down the field.
Yep.
And the crazy thing about all of this stuff that we're talking about is if a certain quarterback can get the wide receivers the ball.
That's right.
That's what it's going to
Yeah.
hinge on. I don't believe it's going to hinge on the line. I believe the line's going to be fine. I believe it's what is Dak Prescott going to do.
Correct. Yeah,
He's gotta
exactly.
throw the ball
He's gotta throw the ball.
on the numbers, not
yeah.
behind them. Because there was plenty of times last year where the receivers are having to do this
Yep.
to get the ball
Get the ball
instead
right.
of it thrown right where it needs
Oh
to be.
yeah. How many times did I see was it Cooper
Yeah.
having to come back this
A
way
lot.
for the ball, and I'm like, man, you gonna get that guy killed, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some safety or some corner's coming to nail you right now, and you're trying to turn this
Well,
way.
you can see Cooper's face when he comes back to the sideline.
Oh yeah.
He's
oh
like,
yeah.
I mean, he's upset. He's like, he's going to get me hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? And that's the reason why Cooper's had problems in the past with injuries is because of balls being thrown behind him and having to go back to
and
get
he's
him.
getting just
and
jacked
he's
up.
Slammed. When he puts across the middle, he's getting slammed by the linebackers.
I wanted to touch on something really quick.
Sure.
You were talking about running backs.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really interesting year for running backs this year.
I do too.
I
do too.
Interesting year because
I do too.
Minnesota is pretty much the same team with some added draft picks they were last year.
Right.
And they had the best running back in the NFL.
Right.
You've got Dallas doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about, Dak Prescott's probably going to go off. In that wide open offense, if the Los Angeles the Los Angeles Rams line can block for him at all, Dalvin Cook is going to be a beast. If the Colts have their line fixed, Taylor is going to just go off every game.
Atlanta's got their line fixed. Gurley's going to go off. Gurley is going to go off. Kamara is going to go off.
You still got the guy.
Yeah,
from the
there's another guy that are interested right there. The Cowboys from the Raiders. Darryl Woolley.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's another cornerback that they're interested in. So you see
Sure
what they're trying to do.
They're showing up some defense.
Yes, they're trying to get their defense going.
We're going to have a good year this year.
Yes, we are.
Football period, as you can hear from while we've said about the draft.
If we can just get it going, we'll be in great shape.
All right. So I'm going to give you a deal. They went 8-8 last year. Is that what they did? They missed it by. Okay. Plus or minus 8, Byron. Cowboys. What do you think?
Plus.
What do you think? Give me 10, 9, 10, 10 wins?
10 or 11.
Okay. And division winner or wild card?
Division winner.
Right. Plus or minus 8?
Minus.
Minus 8.
I just
don't feel it.
See it. No.
So what do you think?
8 and 9.
7 and 9 or 8 9? Give them 17
I
games.
think it'll be 8 9. I think depending on what happens to the other teams, they compete for wild card. Do they make it? I don't know. Playoffs? As far as going in?
So you like Philadelphia or what the Giants are doing or what the Redskins are doing? But the Redskins is in that division there.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
I think the Eagles are going to be the team to beat in that particular division.
Heard that. I've heard this from others.
And I'm not faulting Dallas.
And I've heard it too. I was going to say
before from others too. When people wrote Dallas.
I don't see. And for your sake, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm
Don't worry, Mitchell. You know when he's screaming hollering and yelling at the TV.
There you go. 8 9.
All right, 8 9. Okay.
I'd say they win 12 games and they win the division.
So you like them at 12 and 5 and win the division?
I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl, but
only they buy tickets.
But
well, there you go.
I see them winning the division. I see them.
Yeah.
And I tell you that first playoff game is very well could be Dallas against Philadelphia.
It could very well be.
And it happens a lot like that.
It does.
For the East. For
It
the
does.
NFC East.
Yeah.
We always, because I tell you, there was a time where the East was one of the strongest.
I think it's still one of the
divisions
toughest
in the NFL.
divisions in
Yeah,
the NFL,
and,
just because of the caliber of teams that they've got right there, and it seems like they're always all evenly matched. It just takes a couple of games here or there to make or break their season.
Every year
Yes.
you'll have one that's down at the bottom.
That's
like
correct.
Washington,
Exactly. Or
the
Giants or
they
Philadelphia.
rotate down there to the bottom, and they build back up.
But, I mean, Dallas was what? One game off from going. I mean, they needed Philadelphia to, first of all, they needed to win a couple of games there toward the end of the season, which they didn't
They
do.
shot themselves in
In the
the
foot.
That's right. Yeah.
So, all right, you like, you said 12 or 11?
10 or 11.
You said 10 or 11. You said 8. You said 12. I like it at 11. I like them 11 and 6, winning the division because that's so tough. I think it's going to be, you're going to have some teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. They're probably going to go 9 and 8, something like that. You know what I mean? They're going to beat up each other.
This is the
I like
schedule, and this is the reason why I say this.
Okay.
I think they've got their preseason game is going to be against Pittsburgh.
We don't
so we don't care about
I don't
that.
care about preseason.
Well, they play Baltimore, We play Cincinnati.
So y'all got the AFC North this year, right? So y'all got the North. Pittsburgh, the Ravens, Cleveland, and Cincinnati.
That's in preseason.
That's preseason, but we will play them again. We will play. We will play.
Are you sure that's
Pittsburgh
preseason?
again. Yes. With Baltimore, we're at Baltimore. We're at Cincy. The Giants come to Dallas. Wait. You know what? Them first three are probably your preseason games.
Yes, that's
That's right.
We don't care about
Because they always start off with the
All
Giants.
right, I want to know who
So
they
it's the
play in the
Giants.
AFC. They're still playing the AFC North.
Right. We play the Giants, the
Yeah.
Eagles, Washington, Cleveland, Arizona, San Francisco, Pittsburgh,
One loss.
Atlanta, LA Rams, Minnesota, the Giants, Philadelphia,
So they got the NFC
and
South.
Washington.
So they got y'all are playing the NFC South, right? So you're playing Atlanta, you're playing New Orleans, you're playing Tampa, right?
No,
Not New Orleans.
Okay, who are you playing again? Say it again, the other
Okay.
teams.
We'll start all over at top. Giants,
Yeah.
Philadelphia,
That's your division.
Washington,
Yeah.
Cleveland,
So y'all are playing AFC North then. Okay.
Arizona.
All right, that's what okay.
San Francisco,
So y'all are playing the West,
Loss.
the NFC West.
Philadelphia. Pittsburgh,
Win.
Atlanta,
New Orleans.
LA Rams,
Loss.
Minnesota,
Loss.
Giants,
Yep.
Win.
Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Seattle,
Yeah.
and Washington.
What? No,
So
Philly's going to eat.
all right. So anyway, all right.
Philly
I like.
doesn't have the defense.
All right. So I'm gonna give you the grades. I'm gonna give you the grade on the Cowboys here. The Cowboys get a B plus. Third round defensive tackle Neville Gallimore that you talked about reminds you of Falcons interior player Grady Jarrett. He isn't big, but he can push the pocket and play with quickness. Worst pick. He says, I really liked all their picks, both of them said, but I will be a little nitpicky and say first round pick CD Lamb. How about that? I don't know where they get that. I thought that was a hell of a pick.
I think it's a good pick.
He will be a good player, but he is a lot like Amari Cooper, who they just paid. Like I said, he's being nitpicky.
Well,
Because he didn't think there was anything really wrong with any
if
of
he's
them.
got to pick one, I can see where you're.
Yeah. The skinny, the Cowboys ended up looking good by passing on a corner in the first round and then having Trayvon Diggs fall into their lap in the second round. Lamb is a good player, but like the guys they have, he isn't a real out burner. Fourth round corner, Reggie Robinson, could be the steal of the draft. They're saying. All right.
It's going to work out good. That's the whole reason why they're changing everything around with Awuzie. Because Awuzie, he's got speed, but I just haven't never really been too much impressed with his cornerback abilities.
Anthony Black, I'll answer your question, and I'll give everybody a chance real quick. I think the Browns are still in rebuilding mode.
Yes.
You've got to get some protection for, what's his name? Commercial boy.
No.
The quarterback for Oklahoma. You know who I'm talking about. What's his name?
Old man?
Huh?
The Browns?
You know who quarterbacks the Browns? What's his name? The young kid.
I can see his face.
Tiny bowl man.
Well, I think it is. I mean, I know. The one that does the commercials about staying at my stadium and all that. What's his name?
Lord.
You know who I'm talking about. Heisman Trophy winner 2 years ago.
Send us the notes so we can read it.
Yeah, so anyway, there you go. I can't think of his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. The Lions, they got to have a lot of help.
Lions draft
but the draft was good.
That was okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get these players some experience. What's his
Baker
name?
Mayfield.
Mayfield. Why couldn't I think of that? Baker Mayfield. You got to get some blocking for him. They got some weapons. They still got Odell Beckham Jr. They still got some playmakers that can make plays.
Make no mistake, Odell Beckham Jr. is still a great player.
Yes, he is. But if you can't throw the ball, Tony, when you're on your back.
That's the
But
problem.
you can throw it straight up and maybe get intercepted. But you can't throw it when you're flat on your back. You got to have some offensive tackle help. They did address that in the draft. They addressed some defensive help. They got the Delpit kid that I thought was a steal right there. Safety. Grant Delpit will be good. Nick Harris, the center there, they thought was the best pick for them. They needed a center for sure. So Cleveland Browns, we'll see. The Lions, that just got to get time.
Moving on.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Barry's
I don't know
not
what's
there no more.
Huh?
That's a Barry Sanders thing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
He was the offense then.
Yes, he was.
And I tell you what, they've got a great quarterback.
Yes, they do.
They just don't have no line.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier about.
They haven't ever had an offensive line.
Kirk Cousins. I said it for how long? I said it for a very long time. I said Kirk Cousins is one of the greatest quarterbacks while he was at Washington, but he couldn't do nothing because he didn't have no offensive line.
All right, we're going to go on to the Dolphins. I've got the Dolphins. That used to be one of my favorite teams back in the day. I still like them. Who? They were Super Bowl champions, the Miami Dolphins from down south.
Who?
Them. 1973, 1974 Super Bowl champions.
I remember that.
They are coached by Brian Flores, great offensive mind. Owner, Stephen M. Ross. Give me my time, I gave you yours. Gotta love that, right? Messing with your boy.
Oh, I know.
So,
but
anyway,
reference
because I think that we can agree with this. Miami definitely, no doubt about it, in my military mind, had the number one draft class of everybody. Yeah. Plus, they made deals. How about this for you? How do you get rid of San Francisco, Matt Breida, their running back that could fly like the wind, and trade it to the Dolphins? Now they've got him a good running back.
Yeah, some good draft picks for the next year.
They did. You still have Fitzpatrick. I'm not saying he's great, but he's a capable quarterback in NFL. He's led teams to playoff games and led teams to win. Going to give you just a real quick recap. They had 14 picks overall, number one on the list. They were the top dog with 14 picks in the overall draft. I don't ask me how you do all this. Second of all, is that I thought picking up Tua Tagovailoa, even though I know that he took that injury and he's known to be injury prone, Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback out of Alabama, number one, he's a proven winner. He's got great accuracy with his arm. He thinks very well. The only thing that I have a problem with Tua is his size. Is he going to, me and Byron talk, is he going to be able to take that pounding each and every game? You know what I mean? Getting hit, getting roughed up, getting pushed. He's going to have to get in the weight room.
Have to be bulked up.
He better fix the line. They've got to fix that offensive line if they want him to play for all year.
Yeah, which brings me to that as well. So you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, quarterback, and probably be the starter unless Tagovailoa could beat him out. And they still had Josh Rosen from UCLA. So they get that as well. And then you start getting Austin Jackson, the offensive lineman out of USC. Big, strong kid, plays offensive tackle. Noah Igbinini, the cornerback from Auburn, starting to shore up your defense. You see where this is going? Watch this next pick. Robert Hunt, offensive tackle, University of what? Louisville.
No, Louisville. That's Louisville.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle, Alabama. Brandon Jones, safety, Texas. Solomon Kinley, guard, Georgia. Are you seeing a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Jason Strobridge, defensive end, UNC, that Byron loves. Thought that was a great pick right there.
That was
Round 5, pick 8, number 154. Yep, absolutely. All right, here we go with another draft pick. Curtis Weaver, linebacker, Boise State. We know that kid. He almost destroyed us in the second half by himself in that Florida State game. All I kept hearing was Curtis Weaver making another play. Why? Because Florida State line sucked, and he was getting in there. Cam Akers couldn't do a thing in the second round. What's his name? Blackman. And your boy was getting knocked on his tail all dadgum game.
It's because they went one-dimensional.
Correct. Yeah. Why did we do what we
do? You can only throw so many wide receiver screens. That's exactly before they figure it out.
The no-coast offenses, I like to call it.
I've had other names for
you miss that, coach, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do.
As much as I missed a black play.
As much as I missed a shot in the backside. So, Blake Ferguson, he's a long snapper. How about that? Miami wasn't very good on special teams. To draft you would say, why would you draft a long snapper? very vital to your special teams. If that center, which is the long snapper, can't snap it back to the punter, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, those guys are coming to block the punt, or either over or what if it's right there and those guys are coming? They're falling on the ball and they're taking the ball over right there.
Poor punter.
I thought that was a great pick. Remember, we sort of, but now I think about it,
Not a bad pick.
that's not a bad pick because also a long snapper can probably play center and can play somewhere on the line. Malcolm Perry, and this is where Tony, I wasn't. Now I know what you're saying, so I want to apologize to you. Let's talk about Malcolm Perry, the running back from Navy. He was a 7th-round draft pick. However, I don't know if he's going to be able to play because his commitment to the service, to the United States. He's got to give 6 years to the United States Navy. So we'll see how that all plays out. And then round the last pick they got, 251, Stephen Sullivan, the tight end from LSU, which played on the other side of Thaddeus Moss. Thaddeus Moss didn't get picked very high either. As a matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Thaddeus Moss was even drafted. I think he signed as a restricted free agent. And he caught 2 touchdown passes against Clemson in that national championship game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's a good player. It absolutely makes no sense at all with the bloodlines he has.
Yeah, makes
Jerry
no
Jones.
sense.
Jerry Jones, pick him up.
Probably will. I'm sure he loves Big 12 guys and like LSU guys. You know what I'm saying? Those players right in there. For some reason, he loves that region. And he can make players work for his offense coming from that region.
Tight ends that got great
hands too, a.k.a. Jason Witten, right? Yeah. My God.
And right now we got, what's his name? Jarwin. We got Jarwin.
Jarwin, right.
You're talking about Randy Moss's kid.
That's exactly what you're talking about. So, but anyway, looking at this and the players that they picked up, I'm telling you right now, Miami, and I'll go around and ask y'all what y'all think. They finished 5-11 last year, but they started off 0-7. They stunk their joint up, and then something clicked. They made a couple of moves. Remember, they got rid of Kenyon Drake. Remember that, and made a couple of moves. Got Fitzpatrick back there, and then all of a sudden, they won 5 of the last 7 games, or 8 games, or whatever it was, and they finished 5-11. Do you know who they beat twice in that span?
I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
And it made me laugh because I loved it every
Me too, both times.
Patriots, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they beat the Patriots twice.
Out of those 5 wins, 2 of them were against the Patriots. Yeah. So they started turning some things around, and I started seeing, I was like, Miami's going to be pretty good coming up here in the near if they do what they've done here. So they made some trades to get these picks. It's going to take some time. You look at some of these players, it's going to take some time.
I said it wins at least 7 to 8 games.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to ask you that. You got a quarterback, a coach that works well with players, and he's going to work with a lot of these guys. I believe that Fitzpatrick's going to be starting quarterback. If something goes wrong, there's going to be a battle between Tua and Rosen for the backup spots. I believe you're going to see Austin Jackson start on the offensive line. I believe you're going to see Noah in the backfield. I think you're going to see 3 or 4 of these players start.
You are.
So you are. And definitely that long snapper, Blake Ferguson's going to start. So you can see out of those 14 picks, probably 7 of them play. Half of them play. So I'll go around to you. Finished 5-11 last year. All right, they play in the division, Mike, with New England. They play with Buffalo. They play, who's the other team there? New England, Buffalo, the Jets. Oh, boy. So,
And them.
Yeah. So, no Tom Brady at New England.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Buffalo, playoff team last year, got some great players, and they didn't do bad in the draft. Jets are still trying to find themselves. They weren't much better than the Dolphins.
Buffalo had a pretty good draft.
And that's what and they were, like I said, already a playoff team last year. Go ahead, tell me what's that.
9-8. Wild card, definitely. If they win the wild card, they get in. I don't see him as a shoe 10-win team. I'm gonna give him 9-8. And that's being a little on the.
And you're saying a wild card if things happen.
If things happen well, they'll make it. They'll make it.
So 9-8. You give them okay. They were 5-11 last year. What do you think?
I think they're either going to be 8-9 or 9-8. One of the two.
I do too.
You can flip that number around. That would be That would be my guess.
With those records or with the 9-8 record, can they make the playoffs with that? You think?
Possibly.
So a wild card, you sort of agree.
Possibly get a wild card.
Okay.
Sure.
I got them finishing 8-9. They'll be the third ranked team in that division, with the Jets being last.
That's not bad, Mitchell.
And I would say Buffalo's going to be leading that division.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. With the move of Brady and everybody, and the moves that was happening with New England. All right, I like them at 9-8 with y'all guys. I think because of the AFC being so strong, you still got Kansas City's out there, the Ravens. Don't sell yourself short with Belichick.
No.
He'll find something
He will.
with New England. You've got Pittsburgh that's going to be better. You've got several teams out there that's going to be pretty good. I think they go 9-8, no wild card unless some things happen down the pack. But I think they're going to win at least 9 games. They're going to have a 4-win improvement from last year.
Well,
yeah, with the game added.
I think your winner in that division is probably going to have 11, 12 wins, and I think that's going to be Buffalo.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
And I think New England finds some things, and they still sneak in with a wild card.
They could too, and that's why I agree with you about that third finish. The Dolphins got an A- report card. I thought they should have got an A+. They love the first round corner, Noah's pick from Auburn. He's going to play right away, they think. They didn't like the Austin Jackson choice, and I don't know why. He says, I think there were better tackle options than Austin Jackson at that pick 18. But if I remember correctly, wasn't the kid from Georgia already gone?
Yeah.
The kid from Georgia was already gone. The kid from Louisville was already gone, right? Worse was gone. So, I mean, I don't know who he would be thinking would be better offensive lineman there, but look, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to start. I think he's going to play well. The Dolphins had a ton of draft capital and did a nice job with it. They took Alabama quarterback Tagovailoa with their first pick. He could end up being a star or in the medical coroner's office. I hate to say that because Tua takes some chances that I don't like with him running out there.
I think
what Byron's going to say is one of them 254-pound linebackers coming full speed. And Jackie, you thought you got hit hard in that Mississippi State game? You watch what'll happen if he starts doing that. He needs to stay in the pocket.
Yeah, I think they're going to talk to him about staying in the pocket.
Yeah.
And like I said, how much does he weigh now?
He's 195. 195. Yeah.
They'll put another 10 or 15 pounds on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
15 pounds on him. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The rest of the draft, they said, was filled with a lot of quality picks. Guard, they liked the guard tackle Robert Hunt. They liked Jason Strowbridge. And he said the Dolphins will have a monster season if Tua and some of these guys play and stay healthy. I don't know about what is a monster season. You had 5 wins last year. I mean, 10 wins is 9 or 10 wins. So, oh my gosh, that is. You just doubled your win total. Right. I mean, if
Miami's
you
not
get
used to that anymore.
They're not.
Their fans would be extremely happy with that.
Yeah. Do you know the last time they made the playoffs? Because you can tell me when your team's did. You know the last time the Dolphins?
96,
wasn't it?
It was 95 or 96 because they got the absolute crud kicked out of them by guess who?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 96, I believe.
Dan Marino was quarterbacking, but they made it one other time since then. And I say one because this is 2020, right? 2004. That was the last. 2004 was the last time the Dolphins made the playoffs. Considering who the Dolphins are, you know all the players. Y'all know them. I don't have to sit here and name them. You know all the greats that came through there. So, anyway, that's my Dolphins report there. Final thoughts, just real quick, before we go.
The final thought is I want to tell everybody what Bill Belichick is going to do with the New England Patriots.
Okay.
And you ask what Bill Belichick is going to do?
Uh-huh.
He's going to find some money from Mr. Kraft.
Uh-huh.
And he's going to find some referees.
Whoa!
And he's going to steal some more signs.
Whoa!
And he's going to deflate some more balls.
Whoa!
And they're going to be the worst team in that division.
That is a great prediction.
And I'm going to laugh all the way home.
Interesting. I like that. Oh, Michael Heater. Wow! I don't know if I can follow up on that. Whoa, Bob Dunn. Wow!
I don't know. I think they still make the playoffs.
Oh,
as a wild card.
With what?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to go much further than that.
With what?
There's still some players. There's still some talent there. Yeah. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, with a pair of binoculars.
Bill Belichick. Hey, look. Jason Stidham. Jason Stidham. I guess is the heir apparent now to Tom Brady. But they did grab a quarterback, didn't they? In the free agency?
Yeah.
I forgot who it was.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Did they grab, what's his name, back from the Colts? Black quarterback. Gosh, they came out of North Carolina State. You know what I'm talking about. The one that played after Russell Wilson. Brissett? Brissett. I'm going to say, I want to say they grabbed him back.
I think he's still playing with the Colts.
Is he going to back up Rivers? I thought that's why the Colts went after Rivers, because Brissett went back to New England. You're looking that up already?
There's your quarterback right there.
Stidham, which we talked about. Did they pick up? Check and see if they picked up Brissett. Type in Brissett's name. While he's doing that, Mike, final thoughts, and then we'll get back to New England.
Going to be interesting to see these teams go. I'm excited about the locals. I think the Jags are going to really make an impact, more so than what people are expecting. I think Tampa's really going to surprise some folks. But with that being said, it's going to have to be tempered. Yes, I think they make the playoffs. I don't think that they're the Super Bowl caliber team that people are expecting that to just that Brady's going to wave.
Ready for that.
No, I was talking about Tampa Bay. I don't think Tampa's going to wave the magic wand with the Brady Gronk combination, and they're suddenly going to become a super team. No, this is the draft. I think this is the first of probably 2 years of building with the house cleaning that the Jags did, and with the rebuild that Tampa's done, and with the work that Miami's putting in. I see Florida really making an impact as we go through the NFL for the next 2 seasons.
I do too. What do you think?
I am telling you best look out for Jacksonville, because the offense is still.
We'll find that out, Mitchell.
The other quarterback.
Okay, Brian Lewerke. All right. Good luck with that. Anyway, final thoughts, Mitchell. What do you think? Lewerke, yeah.
On which team?
Just the final thought. No, just final thoughts on anything.
I see Dallas Cowboys winning that division. I really do.
Do you?
Yep.
Anything that's surprising. Give me a surprise thing. Give me somebody that we didn't talk about. Give me somebody that's running under the wire that you think may make an impact. Just seeing what you've seen in the draft and knowing what they already have.
Broncos.
Somebody told me that. Somebody said the Denver Broncos.
They
were 3 or 4 wins last year, right? And I think they're better than that too.
Who's your team, you think, doing that?
Sliding under the wire? I'm going to tell you who I think. And just because they added Gurley, I don't think that's the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Atlanta Falcons did some good job, did some great moves in that draft. Adding Gurley, they still have Julio Jones and the other one, Sanu. They got receivers.
Sanu is in
it's the other one. What's his name? The other guy on the other side. Anyway.
Sanu's up in New England.
And Matt Ryan is still a good quarterback. He's starting to get up there in age. You give him a line, and adding Gurley, which was a league's leading rusher a couple of years ago. So I think, if they can find a little defense and stuff, I think Atlanta. So what do you think?
I don't know how this team is sliding under the radar and nobody's talking about it. Because they were one step away from the Super Bowl last year.
You're talking about the Ravens.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about an NFC team.
Oh, you're talking about an NFC team. Okay.
I don't know how nobody's talking about what Minnesota did in the draft.
Oh,
And
okay,
what
yeah.
They kept. They lost a
Yeah.
wide receiver and had the best running back in the NFL last year.
Right.
And nobody's saying anything about them. And their draft was excellent.
Yeah, that's
So I don't know how we're not talking about Minnesota because I think Minnesota may be the team to beat in the NFC next year.
Okay. Mike, real quick, you got one before we go? You got anybody?
I'll tell you. I think that I don't know how well they're going to play, but I'm excited to see just the build off of the all new fancy schmancy Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to be curious to see how that comes through.
Great point.
I don't think that I think they're going to be a flash in the
2 or
pan.
3 years.
Yeah. I think the excitement of a Las Vegas team is going to really like blow things up.
Do you think Carr's still the man?
Yes, because I don't think that they're going to want to make that
I
big a
think so.
transition with the
think
move
so.
and everything that's going on.
Carr's a good player.
Carr's a
I
good
like
player. I would say, yeah.
I tell you what, if he did not get his foot broken,
Yeah,
they would have been
I think
there, and I think they would have went all the way.
All right, just real quick. All right, we'll go with this again. Super Bowl winner this year. Give it to me. Give me one. 2 teams in the Super Bowl. Okay, I won't put Super Bowl winner.
Okay,
About 2.
Super Bowl, I'll give you both.
Okay.
I think that what's going to happen this year is Minnesota is going to play Baltimore in the Super Bowl, and Minnesota is going to win that football game by 3 points.
So you like Minnesota as your Super Bowl champions, all right?
No, I'm halfway there.
Okay,
Minnesota definitely.
Okay, on that one.
I can't say with any certainty, but I got a sneaking suspicion Kansas City repeats.
Okay, so you like Minnesota, Kansas City.
That's what I think.
Kansas City
repeats,
gets beaten by Baltimore.
All right, Mitchell, what do you think?
I like Kansas City to win, but I don't know who they'll play against yet.
Give me an NFC team. Who do you think?
Dallas.
Dallas and Kansas City. All right, I know. Hey, we talked about what could happen for Dallas, and that's exactly
If everything
right.
works out.
All right, I'm going to tell you a team that nobody has talked about that was 1 win away from the Super Bowl as well.
Titans. Oh, Lord. Let me
Hey,
Man,
how
there's a
did you-
saying we have for them is Jaguar fan. How can you even say that, man?
Well, first of all, they didn't do. I know. Well, I wasn't going to say Jacksonville because I'd be putting myself out there. But let me tell you something.
One more year before they can
Tennessee and Houston was good in that division along with the other team. Jacksonville was not a bad team in that division. We stepped up and beat people. Let me say this. I think it's going to be Tennessee. Somehow they wind up getting it done. They lost nobody. Really. That worth any significance. I mean, Mariota, so what? Tannehill's the man. Hey, you still got Derrick Henry. That'll run flat over you. And they're probably going to add Leonard Fournette. Did y'all know that?
That would be impressive.
If you add him,
That would be
you're going to get power on power running. They already have a pretty good defense. I know they didn't show it against Kansas City.
You
but
could
they
have
did.
had that Jacksonville 2 years ago.
Yes, you could have. So I'm going to say Tennessee on the AFC, and I'm going to say the New Orleans Saints. Something tells me New Orleans is going to pop it this year. And I like New Orleans to win a close one. I like the New Orleans Saints. What do you think? Pretty good picks for everybody.
I think New Orleans is getting to the end. They're going to have to start making changes.
Well, they're going to have to win now. They're going to have to win. That's why I said I think this is
they maneuvered themselves in the draft to have.
Should have that. It could happen.
I'm sorry. I looked at this draft this year and I didn't see a clear loser in this draft. I honestly, there was not a single solitary team that I went, boy, that stunk.
Right. No, I didn't. No,
I didn't see that at all.
I didn't either.
I thought everybody had a good draft, which is unusual because that normally doesn't happen. You normally end up with somebody being really crazy.
All right, Mike. Real quick weather report. Let's shut her down.
Hey, beautiful weather continues for the next 3 or 4 days. Highs are going to start hitting the 90s, and again, as you go further west, temperatures are going to be on the increase. That high pressure ridge really settling over top of us. Winds out of the south next 3 days. Chance of rain moving in on Wednesday. Don't expect any cooler temperatures. I think the summertime has arrived and will be here for a while. We're 27 days away from the Atlantic hurricane season, so give that some thought. But right now, smooth sailing on the horizon.
I want to thank my staff for coming in. I want to thank Mr. Byron Bagwell, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Dave Holland Jr., last 3 shows filling in for his dad, who was taking care of some business. He will be back with us on Tuesday. Dave Holland Jr., thank you very much,
Thank you so
man.
much for coming.
You don't know how much we appreciate
Especially
it.
today because we know you don't like sports.
No problem.
Yeah, but his team is the Cincinnati Bengals, and guess what, guys? Let's give him a good send-off. They suck! Guys, thank you for joining in on behalf of the entire team. Everyone have a great evening, and remember, we're on the spot, so you can be too. Tune in Tuesday night, everybody, for a great show. Never know who we'll have as a guest, but you will know we're here. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Love you. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a great rest start of the week.
Good night,
Good night,
infidels.
everybody.